controlling interface. There's not even USB in on it. I mean, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. David, make sure that you're on audio for musicians.
Where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air. Testing
Only vocals coming through.
screen share the breakout rooms. We push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zoom in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions. We'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen. No rack. I don't even know what that means. I literally don't even understand what half of the words in our song means. Wait, let me turn my music audio original sound for it. Thank you for reminding me about that, by the way. It's not easy to change this now, to change from original sound to noise removal. There we go. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. Let's say hi to some friends. Mr. Mike, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, Mr. David. I noticed you got a white outline today. Now, that also matches your shirt.
Why do I have a white outline?
You don't know.
Well, that's interesting.
Just saying hi. Hi, everybody on YouTube. All right.
Well, wait a second. Hold on. Why do I? So
I don't see a white outline.
Now I kind of see it also.
Is it your prompter?
No, wait a second.
Are you talking about outline of the square, or are you talking about outline of your head?
No, it's the outline of this.
Oh, it's green for me.
No,
Oh, never mind. I'm
And
in
now it's
gallery
gone.
view. Let me go back to
So-
speaker view.
no, it's gone now. I fixed it.
There it is.
So I'll tell you why that was there. I nuked my my studio, and that didn't work. So I switched it, and I swapped my studio with my Mac Mini. And so I'm now running everything that was on my studio, an M1 studio, on an M4 Mini. And I am, my CPU usage is at 50% right now. And I'm not spotlit, and I'm sending 720. If I spotlight myself, that will very quickly jump up to 1080. At least it should. Any second now. Hello. Hasn't jumped up for me yet. Has it jumped up for everyone else? But I'm still only at 50. There it is. Now I'm at 1080. So in any case, that fixed the problem. I have a feeling that it's a combination of all the stuff I have plugged into the studio and the fact that it's only an M1. That's my guess, because I have the same exact stuff plugged into the M4, the Mac Mini, and it's sort of coasting. So I have either it's just an old whatever. So in any case, I had to rebuild everything, and I missed that little white outline. But now I found it. Thank you for pointing that out. Mr. Sargent, how you doing?
Good.
What's
Good.
going on with you?
I'm getting ready to go down tomorrow to the Circuit of the Americas track here in Austin.
You're very low, by the way.
Oh, let me get closer to the mic too.
There we go. There we
Getting
go.
ready tomorrow to go down to the Circuit of the Americas F1 track here in Austin, and help shoot some PSAs for the Boy Scouts. So
Nice. My audio sync is not good. Yeah, but my audio sync has never been good. And actually, wow. It's really off now. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wonder what that's about. Oh well, I'm gonna keep working on this. Mike, introduce everyone. I'm gonna try and fix my what do you call it?
Alrighty. As I'm doing things and talking to everybody on YouTube. Hi, Robert. How are
sorry.
you?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Mike. I've been listening to David for the last 2 days because he was talking about AI. Very fascinating little session, and I listened to it twice because I didn't get it all at one go. I don't know how you managed, David, to put
You're
all this
very
stuff out. I couldn't get it, wrap my head around it.
You're
at one go.
you're very sweet. You want to know something funny? Is I did that episode Tuesday, oh, I love lovable AI, yay, yay, yay. And then on Wednesday, one of the apps that I had built erased everything.
Oh,
Now, in fairness, it wasn't entirely Lovable's fault. It was partly my fault, but and this was a conference scheduler. So, and conferences were today. So I had 100 parents sign up for conferences, and Wednesday, it was just completely gone.
So the AI committed suicide? Is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't the AI, actually. It was the app. It was again, it really wasn't Lovable's fault, but whatever. The point is that I did not have a good AI week, but then I fixed it. So that's okay.
Welcome to the world of programming. You've got to
Exactly.
test, beta test, test and test and test again.
Yeah.
And I find that you're very, very brave to put in business data into something that you
I know.
produced and
It's so dumb. It's just the height of absurdity what I do.
I hope that you've written your program so it's always making backups every time it adds things.
Well, I hadn't, but now I have. I learned that lesson pretty quick.
And then last night on the rundown, you didn't even tell us about this.
I know, because I didn't want to say anything until after conferences actually happened, because I was afraid that I would jinx it. So now the conferences are over, I can talk about it. By the way, I'm Fatness. Do me a favor and check on my sync, because I did make an adjustment. So let me know if that looks any better. Mr. Frank Henney, sir, you have no excuse. Where have you been? We've missed you so much. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you? I've been
Good.
watching on YouTube.
I know. It's really good to have you here, though.
Thanks.
We have missed you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Mr. Robert. Hello, sir. We talked, but I never said hello officially.
Hello, David, and it's really good to see you. And you inspired me on one thing, though, which I realized listening to you the second time, that what you're doing is are really good prototypes that you need to give someone to program properly.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. And a lot of, by the way, a lot of programmers use those tools to do exactly that, just to prototype, to create mock-ups, yeah. But some people actually use it for real work, like me.
Pretend to.
Lois, how you doing?
I've been noticing as you're introducing people, sometimes it's Mr. last name, sometimes it's Mr. first name. I'm Lois. Am I special?
You are special, but I'll tell you why it's Mr. Robert. It's Mr. Robert because I'm not entirely sure that I can pronounce his last name correctly.
How many babas can you put in that?
Exactly. And I don't want to mess it up. So I'm being perfectly honest. And it was Mr. Frank because he doesn't even have his last name on the screen. So
Yeah.
I don't want to mess that up.
I'm perfectly fine with Lois because being a Quaker, I don't usually even use those honorifics.
Yeah.
You're just
I
David.
never use my last name either. You're
Yeah.
right. Never. Yeah. Hey, Tamara.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I actually came with a question today, so I'm so excited.
Woo!
Does it have to do with AI?
It does not have to do with AI
Good.
unless
Good.
you all direct me that it would be best served with AI.
By the way, Ray Harwood put a question in our Zoom meetings Discord, which it is. I mean, this is such a convoluted, complicated question. It's fantastic. Maybe we can dive in. It's more of a feedback request. It's more of a bug report, if you will, or a feedback request. But we can take a look at that later. Tony Mobley, how are you, sir?
I am fine. Happy to be here as always.
Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Who else is here? Rob's Meters.
There's Rob's Meters. There's 2 dots and 1 dot. Those are my stuff.
I was just going to say, I've got a dot and a 2 dot. Fantastic. All right.
Who's the 2 dot?
What? Who?
Who's the double dot?
Okay, it's me as well. I've got a couple of machines because I'm testing some stuff. I'll share it with you a little bit later once we've talked.
Yeah, I want to hear what you're testing. Quick question for people. Has anyone, first of all, is anyone here using tiles? You are. Robert, are you having crash issues?
Nope.
You're not. It's very strange. So this is, like I said, this is the Mac Studio. It's complete. I mean, I erased everything. It's completely rebuilt. This is a fresh install of tiles. And I find that, especially when my computer goes to sleep, it crashes. Maybe it's not able to keep the computer awake. I'm not sure what's going on, but
just stop it from going to sleep.
Yep.
I know.
Is there a difference between having the screen go blank or having the whole thing go to sleep? As far as the way it performs?
So that's a good question. I don't know. There's a setting in
the answer is on a Mac, which is what you're using, right, David? It's a Mac.
I'm sorry?
You're using a Mac, so you can say blank the screen after 10 minutes, but leave the power on.
Exactly. So I just did that before we got in here. I just turned that. Ooh, wait a second. Single dot.
Those are my tiles. You were asking about tiles, so I just threw them up because that's one of the things I'm playing.
Wait, hold on.
Very nice.
Yeah, talk to us about this.
It's just plain
I don't like the
tiles.
color of the background though, but other than that,
It does. But what the 4 up in the top left, is that because why is
I'll talk to you about this because I'm pushing everything through an A10 Mini, So my second monitor for my tiles machine, for the meters, for everything is an ATEM Mini. So I can literally choose the source that I want to display. And so it's going back into the same machine. I'm actually using the same machine as the tiles. That's why I'm getting it double.
I'm not sure I follow that. Sorry. Can you explain that workflow a little bit?
Okay, I've got 4 Mac Minis, and one is running Rob's meters and OSC. One is running tiles. One is running all my presentation stuff, and one is running media playout B with OBS on it for media and for music and everything else that I want. And they are all, the second screens of all of those Mac Minis are connected to an ATEM Mini.
Okay.
So I send everything from those apps into the second screens. So I see them on the multi-view on the ATEM Mini.
Right.
I can see what's going on. I can choose what I want to show. So I can switch over from whatever I want to switch over to at any time.
Robert, real quick question. When you say the second screen, are you mirroring your built-in screen, or is this an extended screen?
This is an extended screen. I have a USB-C to HDMI that I extend, plug into the ATEM Minis. And so that gives me this flexibility, which I've been testing because this is something I wanted to talk about. I've been doing a lot of these supervisory board meetings recently because it's the end of the year and they're getting things ready and for next year with interpretation. Right. And one of the things that I've noticed that the requirements of these people has become much higher. They want music, they want media, they want to show films, they want to show presentations, they want to do voting and things like that. So I've had to change or build a workflow around these supervisory board meetings, management board meetings, and shareholder meetings that I've been running. So, yeah, so that's been working out well.
So you're running, so you can basically bring up one of those 4 Mac Minis as your virtual camera in Zoom.
In Zoom, correct.
But you can't do like what you could, I guess, using the ATEM software. You could do like a PIP, like a picture-in-picture if you wanted.
I could, but I'm running these meetings for people, not for myself. So I don't need to bring myself up at any point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I hope you're getting a lot more money for all these extra things they're having you do.
There's a lot of money in this, and of course it's with interpretation, which makes it even more complicated. But we have
You're running the interpretation also?
Yeah, we're running the interpretation also.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So there's a multiple amount of things, and we've been playing all week with synchronizing share screens in different languages during a meeting, so that the audience can select the language of the presentation that they want to follow in while they're listening to the interpretation in their ears. So that's fun, and there's no AI involved. Let me just make that very clear.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, sorry, there is AI because I'm using 2 instances of Bitcoin Companion with OSC over here.
I think you mean BitFocus.
BitFocus Companion, sorry.
You know what you said? Bitcoin Companion.
That's called a wallet.
It's called a wallet. And I've been using Grok to figure out how to program different keys. So that's the AI that's involved.
Hey, Tamara, can you explain this invisible name for Zoom?
Well, I was putting it in there for Robert because he changed his name to Dot so that it doesn't show up when you project. And there's actually a page that gives you an opportunity. If you copy one of those things and put it in as the name, it creates a blank space. So for people like me who are like running events and then I want to spotlight myself, I don't want my name or any other name or even a dot there. I just want it to be blank. So I copy and paste that into one of those into the rename and it makes it blank.
It works like that.
Thank you very much. I am aware of that. I need to have a dot to find things.
No, that's totally cool. I was just giving it in it just in case. And if anybody else needs it, I thought I'd put it in there.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It's a good one.
I'm not
And
trying
I'll
to
sh-
following. How does this work? So I've got it up
So
here.
you have it up. You pick one of them. So you scroll down a little bit. See where it says Zoom with those 3 choices. You click on any one of those, and that will copy it, and you paste that into the rename, and it will give you a blank.
So, you don't have to go to that much trouble. Just go to rename, highlight everything, and type shift space, and it'll put it in a non-breaking space. It's there. You don't have to any copy and paste. Just it's
Oh,
done.
look at that. No, it won't let you rename. I just tried it.
Well, click. Yes, it does. Just click
Yeah, it
rename.
does.
Click rename now.
No, shift space
Are you on Mac or Windows?
Mac, and then I can't hit rename. Doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't always work on mine either. That's just why the page is helpful.
But the rename is blue. It should be able to be clickable. If it doesn't work, it'll be.
It's not all the time, which is
Ah.
why this page is super helpful because it puts in an invisible space that you can't see.
Yeah.
That's
And-
wild. So I just used the 0 with joiner, and that worked.
Yeah, I just pick one of them. I've used all 3 of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and I can confirm the shift space worked
Worked
for
for me.
Windows.
Works on Windows, but not on Mac. Interesting.
It's on a Mac. I'm on a Mac. It worked.
It worked for
I
you?
think it's because you're going through all these other things.
No, I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm a host.
I could try.
Shift space. And now I see that it put like a space in there, and I click rename, and it's not sticking. I can't.
David, what keyboard are you using?
You're right. Mine is not working now either.
Yeah, it
It
used to
was,
work
but
a
it
long
just
time
never-
ago, but it doesn't seem to work
But
now.
Lois, I actually don't see anything for your name now.
Oh, I know. I tried the copy and paste thing,
Oh, that's why. Okay.
and then I thought, well, I'll just try this. Make a blank
Gotcha.
space, and it didn't work.
Sorry, Robert. What were you saying?
While we've been blabbing away, Frank actually wanted to say something. And since Frank usually says something sensible, I think it would be worthwhile listening to him.
My wife would disagree with you so much. So I was just wondering if I put this blank thing in here, what does this do to people who are using Zoom ISO? You know how it says, "Hey Frank, you're up next," or what happens to those kind of scripting elements when I don't have a name?
I don't know.
I don't know,
Well,
but I can
won't work.
join Zoom ISO and we can find out in about 5
Well, I could do it right now. I'm
Like, I'm
already
sure I
in-
still have a participant ID and a session ID, but I mean,
I
But-
put something in the chat. What does it say there?
Yeah, I know in participants, it just changes it just puts a blank colored box. So if you look at your participant one, Lois, it just has your colored
Right.
box, but it
And I
doesn't
put
have
something in chat. Does it show up as
a blank space,
it's
just a
blank
space.
Okay.
Mhm.
So for me, in OSC on my Stream Deck, I just don't see a name there, and so I see one because I have that before the name. I press it and I can make it full, and that happens to be you, but I just don't see your name there at all.
So if everybody's blank, we will be at random when
Right.
Interesting
Well-
enough. Oh, you've changed your name back, Lawrence, because I was looking on Tiles. It actually maintained your name on Tiles for some reason.
Oh,
So
even
that
though it
may
was
be-
gone?
The question, Robert, is that a feature or a bug?
Well,
Right.
Frank
And then-
Frank has his
then-
name turned off now. Robert, do you see Frank?
No, I don't see Frank. So it must
I
have-
think it's just you didn't look at it while I was gone.
yeah, probably.
So I've got everyone's names. See, the problem is it's so small. I can't see anything. Lois, no, you put your name back. Who does not have a name up?
Frank doesn't have one.
Frank.
Frank doesn't have one. So on Tiles, I just turned the names on. Frank does not have a name now.
Right.
Yeah, but he's got this black splodge on his t-shirt.
Here's a black splotch.
His name.
Yeah, I
shows.
see it. I
That-
see it as well.
Right where the name tag.
Right,
is.
so
Oh,
you're
yeah,
not
right.
you're
Yeah.
not actually putting a blank name. You're putting a blank space or
you're putting
a
space.
yeah, or a black mark so that it doesn't
The
Um,
box is there, even though the characters
Right.
are
Right,
are
exactly.
empty.
Just call me
So if-
Splot
so
from
if
now
you
on.
were- So if you were in Korea and you picked the Hangul blank character, it wouldn't be blank, would it?
I didn't get that.
So I know from this is dating myself, but we had to do message modules in multiple languages when I worked on the operating system for the mainframe. And the only thing that saved us was the message ID number. The rest of it was obviously different characters. When you went someplace where they didn't use Roman characters. And one of those places was South Korea. And so if you put it, if one of these characters is, and they don't show up on our screens because we're all set to English, right? But if you go to Korea, I bet you that character shows up. It's going to be
Pete, I would go one step further and I would say it would depend on the ASCII code that's being used.
well, but that's my and
So-
that's my point is the ASCII code for that Korean character. If you're running on a Korean system, a system that's set for Korean, it probably shows up.
Very well possible. Yeah.
By the way, Hangul is double byte character or double byte characters. 2 bytes for every character.
2 bytes for every character. Yep. All right. So David disappeared on us momentarily, but if anybody has any questions in chat on YouTube, please let us know. And we will do our best to answer. Go ahead, Lois.
It looks like any character that I can make on my keyboard will show up in my name. So right now I have the Omega. I like that. When it alphabetizes, it's the bottom of everything below all the A's and everything. As different from the asterisk, which is above the alphabet. I like alphabetizing. So Tamara had a question, didn't she?
I did. I have an event coming up that is a hybrid event, which you know my personal feelings on hybrid events are sad, but I'm doing the Zoom part of it. And so I got the Zoom part of it. I have cameras coming into it. I have main system coming into it. All that's amazing. The idea is that we're going to project the Zoom meeting onto the back wall. I can do that through the system setting. I mean, the system. I may experiment with tiles. I'm going to play with it this week and see how I feel. Not sure yet. But they just texted me and they're like, "Hey, so will you be handling the closed captioning to project that onto the screen for the main event?" I'm like, "I can do it in Zoom, but I don't." Any thoughts, guys? Like, what do I do? I had a feeling that Robert would have some answers for me, so I came.
Okay, remember Andy coming on about a month ago and showing
Mhm.
us this lovely tool, the new tool? That's
Yes.
the tool you need to use.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly that. I was going to say that's exactly what that tool is meant for, isn't it,
Yeah.
Robert?
However, Samra, it's you need someone on site to be able to do that. I would be really wary to try and do that off site and just throw it down.
So talk me about through the general ideas, because I do have someone on site, and I can potentially have someone on site. So I'm trying to like figure out my staffing and what system I need. Like, what do I need? Another computer on site, a person on site? Give me a sense of things.
Let's step back one just to talk through. What exactly do you want to display? Do you want to have a second screen that only has captions, or do you want to overlay the captions on the display that you're taking out of Zoom into the room? Because those are two different things.
So I think so we have a screen that is on stage, and that will that's the only screen we have. We've got a center screen upstage. So whatever happens has to happen on that screen. The Zoom feed will be on that screen. The Zoom feed will swap out occasionally for a video feed for video playback. I think there's 2 or 3 things that's happening on site. So what I'm getting into Zoom are really three cameras. I'm getting the video playback, I'm getting a stage camera and an audio camera in 3 separate attendees, essentially, that I can then switch from inside the Zoom meeting, or for the Zoom participants, because essentially it's 2 different things. Like it's and so I'll be doing the Zoom part of it. I only got looped into this other part of it. I was like, wait, what? Why me? And I think it's just because they're more confused than I would be. So I come totally confused to you. So I think what their intention is that the entire event would have captioning. So one thing would be to caption those videos and play those videos as captioned videos, for anything playback. And then captioning the event, I guess, is what they're looking for. And I don't have the answer as to how to do that, because I've literally never done that. In Zoom, I would just use captions in Zoom.
Okay. So let me tell you the challenge that you have here.
Mhm.
If you set up, you're going to have to dedicate part of that screen just for captions.
Yep.
Otherwise, the whatever is underneath or comes on top when you play videos will cover or not cover or duplicate whatever you're captioning. So that's the tricky part.
Right.
I wouldn't go down the route of captioning the films that you're going to play back. I would just concentrate on getting the captions for everything that's spoken, because that gives you
Right.
one workflow that you don't have to switch on and off when you have films or whatever
Right.
you're changing them. However, it complicates things because you need to allocate the space for the captions and the space for the video feed that you're going to have on the screen there. So the way I would do it is either use NATEM and have 2 sources coming in there, have a super source, or I would use OBS and just define a layer at the bottom and then just push the camera feed or whatever feed that you want on top.
I don't know what their switcher is, but they have an 8-in switcher. So I don't know what, I can ask the house what the switcher is.
I don't know that switcher. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like, we have 8 in, 8 out. I don't know what that means. All I know is I can put cameras into it, and they can stream out to me. So I can ask, I can ask them, like, what have they done? But that makes sense. That at least gives me a bigger picture, and I can kind of go down and figure that out. What was the tool again that Andy shared with us?
Zoom graphics.
Zoom graphics. Okay. I have Zoom graphics. I can play with that. That's a good idea.
The graphic toolkit.
Graphic toolkit. All right.
Yep.
So I have not dove in that yet. I've just turned it on and followed along, but not played around with it. But I will.
Tamara,
Yeah.
if you wanted to record a Zoom meeting and you wanted captions on the screen, you know how to do that, right?
Yeah, but this is not this.
So
yeah.
if you did the same thing and took the output of that Zoom, the output input, whatever, the put of that Zoom fit screen, and then put it in as a different participant and used that as the input to the stuff on the screen in the room, would that solve your problem?
I don't know, because the question I'm going to have to ask is if they have super source, because if it's one projector and one switcher, then I have to either or. Like, I can't do both at the same time.
Hey, Frank.
Unless I'm losing my mind.
I'm gonna cost you money here, but the way
You can try.
the way we do it, we have big venues that hold sometimes 3 or 4 or 5,000 people. So what we do is we send an RTSP stream out of Zoom to a company that does the captioning for us, and then they send it back to us, and then we have monitors in the audience in strategic locations that are dedicated only to showing the captions, translation, whatever you want to call it. And it's that process for years was called CART, C-A-R-T, and I put a link in the
Amazing. I have a feeling they're going to be a no-go on this because
Sure,
it's
sure.
like no.
Just-
But I love learning and having it in my back pocket because I think there will be people who will.
The,
Oh,
the
that's
other way to
amazing.
do that is to have a local stenographer type person with a
Yeah.
machine like a Falcon or something on site, and they type it in as it's happening. But
Right.
that sort of became like a luxury for some people, so they would send it out to these companies that are located wherever, and they would send it back to you over the internet, right?
That might help though. So I will thank you. I appreciate that. I've got a lot to dive into.
Tamara, I'd just
Frank,
be cautious of using the inbuilt captions in a Zoom meeting,
Hmm.
because those captions are designed for a dialogue. So you'll actually see one speaker speaking, the next captions will come up of the next speaker, then
Right.
those will move off. And what happens is you don't have a fixed area where your captions appear on the screen. That area changes because the
Right.
number of lines changes. It's very difficult to manage. So with the graphics toolkit, you get a clean outlet and you can define the number of lines you want. So you'll be
Yeah.
in a clean, sort of predictable environment.
Got it. Now,
So-
Zoom Toolkit is web-based. So if I set it up, it can be run by someone there, or how does that work? Does it have to be on their machine or my machine?
Now, you will get a URL
Uh-huh.
from your machine,
Yep.
and you have to give that URL access. Well, that machine on site has to have access to that URL.
Got
So
it.
that's something you need to speak with the IT guys, because the safe way would be just to create a tunnel there
Hmm.
or a VPN, and that'll be safe and clean. But there are different other ways, but I would be scared to open up too wide to letting things in.
And
Right.
their IT folks may be equally scared too.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. I will kind of play around and see what I come up with. I've got a couple weeks to figure this out. Not very long. Really, actually, a week now to figure it out.
So Tamara,
Yeah.
what I think I heard Frank talking about, which I've seen in a meeting or two, is where the main thing is happening up on the screen, and there's no captions at all, but there are separate monitors, televisions,
Mhm.
whatever, that have the caption on them. So if people want to see that, they would have to sit in a certain
Right.
place. But that might be depending upon what your people are willing to do or not to do.
Right.
That
Mine,
might be a separate thing.
all right. My gig is to just give them the options and say, here are the things that you have. I know that it's like something that they're committed to, but then they don't necessarily know how to do it. So I'm not sure. So I'm like, it's also a benefit. So I'm like, you don't necessarily have the money to do what you want hopes and dreams to do.
Once you have the cart captions, you can
Uh-huh.
key them over top of whatever video source you want. They don't
Okay.
have to go on separate monitors.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Just as I was saying, just for with a Zoom meeting, just to make it readable, if you only have one projector and one screen,
Mm-hmm.
it's much better to dedicate a space. It can be at the top or
Right,
the bottom of the
right.
screen, depending on the room layout and the screen size. Otherwise, you will have issues with people not being able to see. And I'm assuming that the captions are going to be in the same language that is being spoken, so they
Yeah.
usually it's for accessibility purposes, so they need to be visible and clear.
Right. Right.
Also, and it really depends on what you're trying to do post event. Quite often, what we do in television is we record a clean feed and a
Mhm.
feed with the captions, and that way you have options later depending on what you want to
Right.
do and how you want to edit, right? So
Right.
you might want to have, so let's say you're going to key them on. That's usually a downstream key. You probably want to do a recording before the downstream key where it's clean.
Right.
Sometimes some people, some organizations, they don't even get the supers or anything. That whole video recording is clean. Then they might have different versions where the supers and lower thirds are recorded, and then they might have it with the captions as another recording.
Right.
And that gives you total flexibility if you ever want to re-edit and change the font styles or do it, or whatever. It gives your recording longevity because now you have clean versions and you have
Right.
finished versions.
And I will have all of the raw footage from both of the cameras and the video sources, so I can always post edit.
Frank, can I ask you a question about that? So in music, there are now tools that allow you to unmesh the stems of music.
La La La.
What?
La 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 is one of them. La La La
okay.
AI.
Sorry, I thought you were singing me a song.
La La La.
What you just described, why couldn't a video feed have the different layers all baked in, but then be able to just find the stem?
My answer to you will be, have you ever tried to get the chocolate chips out of a chocolate chip cookie once it's baked?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but it's going to be messy.
Okay.
If you want clean, you do it the professional way. You can do what you're saying and you'll get varied results, but a professional approach would be to have a clean recording, and then if you want different parts of, like if you want the clean recording and then you want the super version of the recording, that's how professionals would do it. But yeah, if you don't have that kind of time or budget or setup, then yeah, you can try and do those kind of things, but that's not how a professional group would organize this or approach it.
Right. Thank you.
That
Tamara,
visual
one
is
thing.
wonderful, Frank. You're having a cookie with an injector, injecting the chocolate chips in after the cookie's baked.
Tamara,
No, it's
just
the
one-
opposite.
It's actually the opposite. You're trying to
Right,
get the
trying to get the
chocolate
chocolate
chips out of the
out.
cookie
I know,
once
but
it's
if
baked.
you have a clean copy and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
add the chocolate
Yeah,
chips.
then you can just put them on top or something.
That's more of a Twinkie because then you can
Gone
inject
awry.
the
I love these Zoom meetings. We are so on
Ray
topic.
Harwood. How
Tamara,
are
can I
you,
just?
sir?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying
Please,
hi to Ray. I'm sorry.
I'm good. I was listening on YouTube while I was doing some stuff, and you guys started talking about the Zoom Graphics Toolkit. I actually used it for a 2-day webinar, small group, but I used it. They didn't want to use Q&A, but I used it to bring in the chat and designate those that I wanted to become questions that we then popped over on another screen, and then I used vMix. You can use your mixer of choice to basically overlay that on basically a blank screen. It's a maroon screen, and I fed that to the camera output of the Zoom Graphics Toolkit, which is now also running on the same machine as my Zoom Workplace. That to me is sort of the drawback, is that you've got to run 2 Zooms on either one machine, or the graphics toolkit can be on another one, but it will run a Zoom instance, and that's how it gets all of its data.
Okay. That
Tamara?
isn't an impossibility.
And by the way, I referenced Ray. We'll come back to it later, but I referenced your sort of bug report or feature request over, which had to do, it sounds like, with having Zoom
Yes.
graphics
Yes.
toolkit and the main Zoom up at the same time and chat. Yeah. Sorry, Robert, go ahead.
Tamara, just going back for a second to your hybrid. Even though you have the recordings from the cameras themselves, are you going to be doing a cloud recording of the event?
I'm probably going to do a cloud recording and a computer a recording.
If you're doing the crowd recording, just make sure that you can get the VVT file with all of the captions from that, because that'll help you if you need to do any post-event editing and putting the captions onto or burning them into a film that you want to supply to someone, or putting them into YouTube, for example. Now, you need to test this, Tamara, because keep in mind that when you do the cloud recording, you'll be recording speaker view or gallery view.
Right.
Yeah. Now, your speaker view will not necessarily be the same view that you're trying to present or want the captions on.
Right, right.
Because you're pushing things from the outside and pushing things from the inside, and having different machines being the machine that is talking inside the event location.
This turned out to be, this seems more complicated than what my little event was. They've been planning this in-person event, and then they were like, we have some people who can only come on Zoom. Will you do the Zoom side of it? And I was like, sure.
That's the easy bit, to do the Zoom part when you're
Right.
taking things out from the event to Zoom.
Right.
The tricky part is when you start bringing people in and out at the same time. or
Right. Right.
One after the other. That's when you need to be very careful. If you want some support with this and want to just run through a test, Tamara, just grab me on Discord and we'll set a time.
Yeah, I will
where-
probably do that because I want to just think it through and see what, because the good news is that I'm only bringing in audio into the meeting, into Zoom. I'm only sending video out of Zoom. So there's no two-way communication between the two spaces other than the visual representation of the Zoom meeting in the live meeting space. So that's like the only thing that is like the saving grace in
Yeah,
that sense.
Yeah.
So-
and
Don't
just
be
keep
saying
in
that.
mind, just keep in mind that things will be out of sync.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Audio and video will be out of sync in that
Yeah.
situation if you're going to loop video back onto the screen through Zoom.
I'm not. I'm going to be bringing things. So wait, which video are you talking about? Like,
If you have a camera on a speaker and you want
Uh-huh.
to put a big image of that speaker on the screen in the same room, and you're
I
pulling
don't.
it through Zoom.
I don't.
Okay.
The only thing I want to project into the room is the Zoom gallery view so that it connects audience to audience. So there'll be a camera on the in-person audience that will be its own attendee, and there'll be just an attendee in Zoom of the group of them, no audio. And the only thing going out of our meeting to their meeting is the gallery view, no audio. So that shouldn't be any different. Coming into the Zoom meeting is one camera that is facing the stage and the soundboard of the theater will be into that camera. That will be the audio in. That's coming in as a separate attendee. And then so I have two attendees coming in, audience camera and that other camera. And then the video feed that they're playing live. If I have to, I cannot bring that in through the Zoom meeting, and I could play that live while they're playing it. Or I
Okay.
could play the Zoom meeting while they're playing it.
And
So
of course, the question to ask, of course, is: are they going to have any Q&A? Is anyone in the audience going to ask a question?
They're doing a paddle raise, but again, they have a host in the Zoom meeting and then they have a host in the main space. And so I will be connected by headset with the stage manager there and also with my camera people there. But there's no interaction back and forth between the two meetings verbally, just that picture view, which is why, thank goodness. Happy about that. So that's kind of, and then in the meeting, I will spotlighting those various attendees, very low key. I mean, it's the Zoom meeting itself is going to be a very small number of people. There are people who cannot attend for some other reason. So, we're trying to kind of up the game of just having one stationary camera for the Zoom attendees. They do have their own host. They have kind of their own little thing. But it's, that now they're asking for this other piece that I was like, I know that's not my part of it, but sure, I'll ask questions and see if it's possible.
Good for you.
so Tamara, you're going to have a gallery view for the people in the room to see.
Correct.
Great. But if you want to show the people in Zoom something and you spotlight it, that's going to take over the gallery view unless you somehow.
No, so the gallery view will be an on-site computer logged into Zoom as an attendee, and that computer will be in the switcher, and so that's separate. Yeah, there's 3 separate attendees coming in that are essentially all of the cameras and going out. So that one's actually a separate one. That means my switcher there on site can take cues from my stage manager or me to, switch to that camera. I imagine when they do playback, they will not keep the gallery view up. They'll just switch to playback. So that's the that the only reason that it's there is really just to connect those two audiences. We also have a camera of them that is a silent camera of the audience. So it, basically what's coming into Zoom are three separate Zoom attendees that I'm going to switch very low key school of, highlighting, spotlighting and unspotlighting. And then going out to them is the gallery view in its own computer. All it does is gallery view, and that will go into the switcher, and my switcher will will project that when he's not projecting video. Muddy always has good ideas.
To Robert's, or to the point about that gallery view potentially becoming a spotlight, one of the ways I've addressed that is Zoom OSC, even the basic no pro account. Zoom OSC is a client, and it has the option to stay in gallery mode. So even when you spotlight someone, it flashes for a second, but immediately snaps back to gallery view. So that client will always stay in gallery view.
Okay.
And then the other thing I was going to say is you may consider hiding self view on that feed, that gallery feed that's being shown to the audience. So you're not showing them back their own
Muddy,
gallery view.
that auto switching back to gallery view is relatively new. I remember that until we got that, I put on every single button a second action, which is switch back to gallery view, and then they just built it in as a setting, which is just life saving. It was such a good.
Muddy, are you saying my OSC computer should be that gallery view computer?
Yeah, exactly. The one that is showing gallery view could be the Zoom OSC machine.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Got it. I will play around with that.
And you'll have to come back and tell us what options you went with, because this has been a neat conversation.
I certainly will.
And Tamara, if for any reason that they come up with more than 25 attendees online that you need to visualize, then give me a shout out. I'll help you set up tiles, because tiles will be a better option for that, because you'll be able to go through the different attendees. However, from my experience, if you have an event like that and you've got the attendees changing all the time, it's actually a distraction, because people will be looking at what's going on there and not at the speaker himself in the room.
Yeah. Okay. So much. Okay. Cool.
Well, actually, Robert, it depends. If I've done something similar, but on a large screen 4K TV, and then you get, just like you would on a 4K monitor at home, you get 49.
True.
I think it's, from what I've heard, it's definitely a lot smaller than that. If I use tiles, though, am I still needing the OSC machine, and would that have tiles on it, Muddy?
Well, keep in mind both Zoom OSC and tiles are Mac only, so it'll be somewhat
they're all going to be on
dependent.
an M4, probably.
Okay. Yeah. So
little mini.
You'll probably want more there, right? So the tiles will give you a stylized gallery view, and only can be you can actually have better looking gallery view, because you can kind of customize it. So if you have the option of doing tiles, that's really what tiles was designed for, is to be able to show a gallery view to an in-person audience, right? So that's the perfect use case for it. And also, if you have an attendee who's got their camera on, but it's looking up at a ceiling fan, like, boop, you can say, nope, let's not see them. And they're not in so you can curate the gallery view a little bit more.
That was my original thought, was to use tiles and have my on-site person running tiles, and then putting the tiles machine into the switcher, and then the switcher putting that out.
That would be a great solution, and then you would not need OSC locked into gallery view, because tiles is not affected by Spotlight at all.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, that gives me some places to play around with, and I'm sure I might be reaching out to you, a couple of you.
And one other quick thing too is that when they send you the video feedback,
Uh-huh.
you don't have to include that in tiles either.
Right, right.
You could actually tell tiles not to have that, where in gallery it may or be a little more finicky.
Yep, you're right.
Right.
Okay. I have things to play with this weekend. And then probably more questions.
And a
Actually,
good use of Zoom sessions.
Right.
License.
Well, and there's one other thing that occurs to me with gallery is you also, or with the tiles, you also have the ability how to add and what buffer to add so that you can actually create an open space along the bottom for your captions. If your captions are going to overlay that screen, you can say, okay, I need a 50 pixel buffer or a 100 pixel buffer at the bottom, and it'll move. You can tell tiles you want it, top justified. And so you've got a lot more flexibility to kind of create the framing that you would want to allow for a captions overlay.
You just key it over.
Right.
Good point, Muddy. Good point.
Question on tiles. When it is switching people, is it just cutting, or is it fading, or is it going to black and coming back on? Do you have options, or is it always doing it one way, or what?
You have options, and you've got the time for change, and you've got options of the way it changes.
Because you'd want to see the least obtrusive method of changing people on that tiles.
If I have a small, it's a pretty, if it's like a small group, couldn't my person on site like favor people so that they don't disappear? So basically they're creating a fake gallery view, just as they're coming in. Cause I don't think it's going to be a huge group in that online, that digital space.
My monitor shows 49. So you don't have to have a wall screen to get 49 people.
No, just say 4K monitor.
Yeah.
But Tamara, the thing about
Don't even need that, I don't think.
Going back to tiles is if people turn their cameras off, you won't have a big black blob on the, on the gallery. That there are a lot of benefits from doing it using tiles. And you can change dynamically if you have a smaller group in the beginning, 6 by 2, and then as they grow that, they'll become slightly smaller, but you'll have more people on the screen, and then you can have them rotating quicker or slower. There's so many options there to choose from and variables to set.
All right. It feels like I'm going to learn tiles this week.
Good for you. Good for you.
Up-leveling my skills. Thank you, guys.
And then of course, train your person locally that'll be doing the tiles for you.
Well, I have she's someone who I'm trying to bring up into the world. I've identified one lone person who's kind of interested. So she and I both just got M4s. We're like, I might just bring her in and we'll just do let's figure it out together and see if we can make that work.
Nice.
When you find the one, you take them.
Hey, Tony, what's up?
I apologize for asking. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I
apologize before you even ask. Good to see.
Well, it's something you probably have already answered before, but I just don't know the answer to it right now. That's why I'm apologizing ahead of time. What is required to be able to utilize tiles?
You need to have a Zoom events license of some sort. So that can be Webinars Plus, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It can be Webinars Plus. It can be the PPO version of that. So you have to have a Zoom events hub with your email associated with that hub, and then you log into tiles with that hub, with that email. Excuse me.
Did you, Tony? Did you change over to the new method for your Zoom ISO license?
For your liminal licenses?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I had disabled my pro account and just reactivated it last week. And
in liminal or through Zoom?
Through Zoom.
Your pro Zoom account.
Yeah.
Right, my Pro Zoom account, I had made a free account for
Right.
about 6 weeks, and I recently just, restored it to the Pro account.
Right. So that's a prerequisite to having an event because that needs to go with the events license, but that's actually something separate. I think what they were asking you is do you currently have Zoom ISO or Zoom OSC? Do you currently own licenses to either of those?
No, I don't.
So you'll want to go to the Zoom page here. I'll bring it up for you. Zoom.us, and you're going to go to. I mean, you'll log in and do this, but you're going to go to. Oh, this is different now. This is new. Wow, they've changed.
It's trying to be helpful.
Yeah, but here we go. Webinars and events. So on the left-hand side, you'll have to click. Oh God, this just reminded me of news that I have. Click on webinars and events. You're going to want to change here annual subscription to.
Paper attendee at the bottom.
Thank you, paper attendee. I don't know why that thing is on, and then that'll change to $100 per year. So unless you need the other tools, this is the minimum of what you need to get those to get the liminal apps.
And that
Okay.
was, at least in I'm sure it was for everyone who did this. This saved you a bunch of money.
So much money.
A ton of money, yes.
So
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah.
And by the way, while we're doing this, I discovered something which was brand new to me. And I think it's brand new to Zoom, actually. So I have a business. I bought the business license
I did too.
before, but wait, I did it when you had to have 10 or more.
Oh, right.
Right. So I bought 10 licenses. Wonderful. I was using them for different things. This past week, I retired one of them, meaning I didn't need it anymore. And I saw in little text, you can remove this from your business account. So I followed that text, and I was able to reduce the number of business licenses I actually need under 10. Now, I've known for a while that you could now buy fewer than 10. Like you could buy one. What I didn't know is that if you had 10, that you could now reduce the
nice.
number below that, and you can, and I did. So I went from 10 to 8, and I just think that's fantastic. Yay, Zoom.
I love that so much.
I'm still going to give you all my money, but good on you for allowing us to do that. So, real quick, Tony, did that answer your question about how to get tiles and stuff?
Okay, so I'm in webinars and events. Is that the correct place?
You're on mute, David.
I knew that. Sorry. So then if you're on webinars and events, the middle one you should see is webinars plus.
Okay.
And then you'll see number of attendees and plan. Under plan, change that it defaults to annual subscription. Again, I'm not trying to short sell Zoom. If you need the annual subscription, by all means get it. But if you don't, if you're just doing the liminal apps, change to pay per attendee.
Right.
And then it'll default you to the lowest. It'll default you to 50 attendees, which is $100 a year. And you'll see in the little text underneath, a Zoom Workplace Pro account is required. So it's good that you updated that you got that Pro account again. So you'll want to be logged in with that when you add this on.
Okay.
Right. And then you have to go
we're-
someplace.
I'm looking at the same thing right now. So
Okay.
thank you.
And Tony, it's important to note too that gets you access to all the liminal apps, not just tiles.
Yep.
So that's Zoom ISO, Zoom OSC, Graphics Toolkit, should that be licensed down the road, and of course tiles.
The Zoom Graphics Toolkit does interrogate your license already.
Right. But I don't know if they're actually charging on the main liminal website. I don't think they are yet.
Well, they weren't ever planning to. It's all they sunset that
Part of the bundle.
Yeah, it's all just part of the bundle. The the separate liminal pricing goes away in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
This new page that they did is, I mean, it takes a little getting used to, but it's very well organized, I think.
Yeah, it's been like that for about a month.
We've got a
Oh, has it really? I just haven't been there. Wow.
So Tony, you asked what is needed to run tiles, and there are three things that are needed. The first is that you need to purchase a license, and that's what David has been talking about. The second thing is you need to set up what's called a Zoom Events Hub under using the same email address that you got the license with, and it should be the same email address as your pro account. And then the third thing is you need to run it on an Apple Silicon Mac. I think that's the only requirement because I've run it on an M1 base Mac Mini. It runs better on the M4 Mac Mini when there's more than a couple people in the meeting. If you have a meeting with a lot of people in, it can use a fair amount of horsepower to run tiles, depending on how big the gallery view is and how frequently it's switching. But you'll need those three things. You'll need a license. You'll need to have it set it up with a hub, events hub, and then you'll need to run it on an Apple Silicon Mac.
Fantastic. Thank you.
My tiles keeps crashing, and I don't know why.
Okay,
This
you're
is now-
scaring me, David.
This is the third time that it's. I don't know.
Don't
It's-
listen to David, Tamara. Yeah,
It's okay. I'm fine. I have an ancillary question to Tony's thing. If I have all the licenses, can my assistant run it still, or does she also have to have all the licenses?
Well, put it this way, Tamara. She's going to have to log into a different Zoom account than you are to be able to access whatever is there. So the way I have it set up is I have a separate account that is allocated a Zoom business license and the webinar plus
Okay.
license.
Yeah, that I
Tamara,
have. Yep.
are you both on the same organizational account? That's important.
No, we're not.
So she will not be able to access your license. If she was on the same organizational account, I haven't tested it yet to see if everyone on that organizational account can run it.
Right.
You can set them up as a hub host, which is an alternative. You can have between 4 and 10 additional hub hosts besides the hub owner.
Mm-hmm.
Once their account is associated with the hub, they'll be able to run it as well. But if you're on separate organizational accounts, nope, not going to work.
So if I have a business account and I add a second account, a Tamara Pika assistant account, and she logs into Tamara Pika assistant account, and that assistant account has to buy a business license and
I believe you need at least a pro license, and if your whole account is business, you probably just need the regular business license.
okay, so then I only need one like events license. My one session, I currently have sessions and a business account. And I would want to create a second business account that is like Tamara Pika assistant account, and then whoever's logged into that assistant account can run my other if they're on part of the organization.
You would need to go into your hub screen
Mm-hmm.
and go down to the team for the hubs and add them to your team.
Okay.
When you say someone is on your same account, are you talking about the domain name? So if I'm Lois at davisfriendsmeeting.org and then there's treasurer at davisfriendsmeeting.org, are we on the same account?
You don't
Maddie's
need to
saying no.
You don't need
Not
to share
necessarily.
you don't need to share a domain name. You can add any domain name to your I have multiple domain names that I use in my business.
This is specifically an organization within Zoom. This is a Zoom account level
Right.
setting that they're talking about.
One owner owns a lot of accounts, and even for some place like Frank's, university, there's one owner for that account, and then all of the staff and all of the students all belong to that same account, regardless of whether they're forcing them to use the same domain name or not.
Right.
In most cases, they will do that. But for a small business, you can go, hey, Fred, would you like to join me with my business and be able to do that? You can add them to your account and you can be different domain names.
Right.
But one owner is paying for all of it.
Got it. So even though she's got a pro account, I have to get a pro account or an account on my business in order for her to.
How close do you want to work with her?
I do, but I also I have a revolving team of potential people who are coming in and out. So I'd be better off
my thought
having.
is, if you were going to make a very solid relationship at some point in the future, you can invite her to join your organization, and she doesn't necessarily then have to create, or you don't have to create a separate account. You could bring that in and make that a part of your organization.
Can you invite someone for a limited time and then uninvite them and bring them back? Like, is it something like for this event, she's invited, she's part of that hub, she can run it, she's got a pro account, but I'm not paying for her account.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
At one of those steps, she would lose all of her accumulated meeting IDs and recordings and that kind of stuff.
All right. So the best thing for me to do is add a second kind of business account that I assign.
There's another reason not to do that.
Yeah.
Zoom will not officially tell you the amount of times that you can transfer a license from your organization. But once you transfer too many licenses in a set period of time, they freeze your ability to transfer licenses until they cool off again.
Got it.
So for me, it's not such a big deal because I have 30,000 licenses. But if you only have 10 or 12 licenses, and it's to basically prevent people from sharing accounts because that's against Zoom's terms of use. So what they do is if they have people who are buying 3 accounts for 12 people, and every month they're rotating them around or every week, Zoom will actually freeze your ability to transfer accounts because they don't want you doing that.
Right. Got it.
And Frank, not to put too fine a lens on that, I think that's only if you have multiple basic accounts and you are transferring one pro or business license among those people. I think that is rate limited. But I think if you had people joining your account and then they decide they're not going to do it anymore, and then you've got other people who join your account or you create new accounts, I don't think that part is rate limited, but definitely
unless it's changed, if you were transferring non-free accounts too many times in a set period, you'll get frozen.
All right. I think it's just going to be easier because my assistants go in and out. I'm a training ground for young people who stay with me for 6 months and then they go off to bigger and better things. That is how my company works. So
forgive me for suggesting this, and Robert, we're not ignoring you. I'm sorry, but wouldn't, if this isn't kosher, I didn't say it, but wouldn't you just make an account for assistant at tamrapika.com and then they log
that
in?
is what I'm probably going to do, although I didn't want to say that out loud because I'm pretty sure that's
against the terms of use as well.
The edge case.
What part of that is against the terms of use? I mean, if she creates an account called assistant at whatever and assigns the username and password to
named users, you can't technically you
can
can't
name
have
it
a generic
whatever you
account.
want.
You can name it whatever you want, but it's supposed to belong to a specific individual, and it's not supposed to be transferable like that.
So it would still belong to
person.
me. I'm still paying for it. Someone's running my show that day.
You could buy a month-long account. You don't have to buy a year-long account.
No, but I guess what I'm saying, Frank, is that I am buying it from my assistant, which is a person. The fact that assistant,
changes
I
every 3
someone,
weeks.
or I fire someone, or I hire someone new. I mean, I'm not arguing with you.
You can file an appeal with Zoom security if you feel you're valid. But if they stuck to the letter of their terms of use, which they don't enforce that vigorously, I believe they could make the argument that you're violating the terms of use.
But
if
like,
you
so
agree to.
for
So if-
example, when I used to work at NBC and when any agency will have the agent's name and then the agent's name assistant. And that account is going to stay the same no matter who the assistant is, because otherwise, if they kept swapping it out every single time a new person came in, they would actually lose contact with everybody in the industry. So like, that's like the common practice. If I'm still paying for it and I'm the only one using it,
Right, but
you know,
you're hiring someone in a real job.
Right.
You hire someone every few years, not every month.
yeah, I
Well-
don't know. Not in the entertainment industry. This is a freelance business. So
The reason Zoom introduced the one-time code was to prevent people from doing this, because you actually have to own the email that it sends the one-time code to, and some organizations aren't willing to give you the credentials to the email that's signed up for the account, right? But there's
if
lots of workarounds.
I'm logged, so if I was on site, I turn on my computer, I log in one and I log in another, and someone's sitting in front of my computer, there's no difference. I'm the paying for it. I'm the one logging in.
Sure, whatever you
Well,
want.
in
Okay.
our situation, we have created accounts that instead of it being Lois at davisfriendsmeeting.org, it's treasurer at Davis. And when somebody else takes over being the treasurer, all of the history of that email will still be there in the account labeled treasurer. So if you have to have an email account, a unique email account to sign up for Zoom, treasurer could sign up for a Zoom account. And then when the
I
treasurer
apologize.
changed,
I feel
No.
like we went down a big rabbit hole, so I'm
Okay.
Robert's been waiting patiently. You're muted, Robert.
and Barbara has no microphone.
Frank, I'm just going to stand on your side on this one because there's a difference between having a treasurer who's working for you for 2 to 3 years and swapping people in and out every 2 to 3 weeks. That's what Zoom has said officially that they don't want us to do. Yeah? And so that's what they. But going to Tamara's point, I actually do that. I have multiple licenses on my own name, and like I'm in the studio now, I'm logged in as me under different licenses onto different machines running different applications. So it's something, but they don't change. They're just
Right.
Well, that's the
constantly
thing.
same.
My name wouldn't change. I would be Tamara Pika at Tamara Pika's assistant and Tamara Pika at Tamara Pika. I'd be paying for both accounts. The only
Right, so
difference
I
is
do the
someone
same
else
thing.
is.
I'm in this meeting 3 times, and all 3 of those are with just different emails. Actually, 2 of them use the same
Right.
email. But so there's rabbi.press.com, there's david@torteca.com, there's blah, 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 and but I'm not sharing those with I'm not
No one else is running any of those
It's a
accounts
little-
simultaneously with
it's a
you.
little complicated though. I mean, it really is.
Right.
I mean, what we're not doing, I think, David, is we're not giving these licenses for someone else to run their own meetings. Yeah, and
Well, that's the
to run
thing.
their own meeting, but they're not in Tamara's case.
There wouldn't
working
be in
with
my
her.
case. As a matter of
Right.
fact, she has her own license. She would not use that in any other meeting except the one that I'm running. I'd be in the same meeting too. It's just she's going to sit in front of that computer. I'm going to sit in front of this computer. So I feel like there has to be a gray area because there's no way the way productions work. I'm a production company that does multiple projects. This girl isn't going to be on every single project, but I will be on every project and I'm the one paying for it. So I don't know. I guess I understand Zoom's point. They don't want people sharing, but at the same time, if I'm buying a business license for my business and that business is used in multiple different projects and each project is a separate thing, then I'd have to buy a license every single time I brought someone else in. That seems not conducive.
Hold on, Lois, hold on 1 second. Let me get Robert back in because he has his hand up.
no, let's finish off this topic because I put my hand up because I want to change topic.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So
Lois.
last thing I was thinking is that if you're having an assistant who's going to be there for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, whatever, and you create an account, assistant 1, and you pay for that month. And then the next month, you've got a new assistant. Why not just change the name to assistant 2, pay for that for a month,
if I want to have two business accounts, because like David, I often run events by myself with multiple me's in the room. I mean, I have
I understand.
multiple accounts. So if I'm willing to pay for two business accounts, then it's me running them. It's me in
I
like,
see
because
the
we're not talking
team
about
sitting in.
we're not talking about even like a month long or whatever. We're talking about 1 day events come in and that I mean I feel like if I'm paying for two business
Yeah.
licenses and it's me
Zoom
running
allows
it,
you to recover your accounts and transfer them to other people. They don't have a problem with that. They have a problem with a pattern that looks suspicious, where it's like every 2 days someone else is getting transferred, recovered account, and then transferred to a different person. That looks like you're dodging the amount of actual licenses you require. And they actually, if you read the terms of use, they're supposed to be assigned to specific named individuals. They don't enforce generic account, like they don't go after people with generic accounts unless they detect this suspicious level of activity. So if you have 3 accounts and 15 users and you're transferring them all the time, you'll get rate limited and you'll lose the ability to transfer your licenses for about a month, it seems. They
right.
won't tell you the official ratios or time lengths, but that's what I've surmised from all the times I've read about it
Yeah,
and
I
all.
see what you're saying. I
Because
think
because I have 30,000 accounts, my ratio is a lot different than someone with 4
right.
accounts. I can transfer probably 2,000 accounts in a month and I won't get rate limited because it's a small percentage of my accounts that are rolling around back and forth. But in a small organization with a few handful of accounts trying to service 10 or 20 people, they're going to get caught. And the other part about whether or not it should be a named individual, there's the spirit of the rules and there's the letter of the rules, and I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure if they wanted to enforce it, they could, and you've agreed to it, but they will never enforce it on you.
But I just want to clarify, because Tamara, you're not actually transferring anything.
I'm not transferring anything. It's all me.
Just like me, you've purchased 2 licenses,
Mhm.
and when a new person comes in, you log into your computer with that second license, and then they use it.
Right.
Maybe it's different in enterprise because our terms of service, and I've talked to my Zoom rep about this, we have to have named individuals who own each license. It can't be generic account 1 and account 2.
But I'm the name.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
But
but then you
because
can't transfer
yeah.
like by letting someone else use the license legally. I don't know, but
But they're
anyways,
using it
I feel
for
like
me.
there's so many more fun things we could be talking about. Right?
I know. I'm sorry.
It's
the way out
a
of
really
it.
interesting question. It really is.
I mean, the way I get around that, because I do exactly what you're trying to
Peter,
do.
we can't hear you.
Did I go dead? Can you hear me
Oh, I
now?
can hear
we
you a
can
little
hear
bit.
you. It's just very soft.
I wonder why. And crank it up again some more. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I took a slightly different approach. I have, I forget what they call it on Gmail, but I have a custom domain
Mhm.
and I have 3 custom email accounts that all resolve back to me and I control them. And 2 of them I check out to my youth that do scouting stuff, probably on a weekly basis. But guess what? All the Zoom accounts are on those IDs.
Right.
So Zoom doesn't know that I checked it out to a youth to use. Now, maybe Frank will say I'm violating the letter of the law.
You're not allowed to share password credentials under the terms of use either.
But they're not sharing. They're sharing password credentials. I checked them out, as in I say here use. I set up the Zoom meeting for them. Now sign in.
Okay, that might be different than what I thought you were saying originally,
Yeah.
but the way it goes back, I'm tired of this conversation actually.
Fair
But
enough.
All right. Thank you, though. I didn't mean us to go down that crazy path. I think I have an answer to my question.
Let's hear from Robert.
Robert, next question.
I'd like just to share something that I experienced recently with Zoom. I recently upgraded one of my workplaces, and every time I started a meeting, the meeting went into full screen, and it was driving me bananas. And until I realized that in the Zoom app itself, if you open once again the famous webinars and meetings options, there's an option there that allows you to switch that mode off so it doesn't open into full screen when you when you log
Right.
into a meeting. I just thought I'd share that because it took with everyone because it took me ages to figure that out, and I didn't have anyone to ask because I wasn't here last week.
That's also
So
a controversial topic because some people love it full screen and some people hate it full screen. Like I never have Zoom full screen ever.
Right. I don't either. Is that in the Zoom in the behind the scenes Zoom, like on the through the
no,
website?
in the app itself, if you
Uh-huh.
click on the settings and you go into meetings and webinars,
Okie dokie.
in the first section of it, it's the last option. It says enter full screen automatically.
Yeah, it used to be in a different location when before
In-
they reorganized how the stuff is, right?
Uh-huh. Since they grouped this meeting and webinars, this is when a lot of important stuff
yes.
has been moved here. And that's super important in it. It's a preference, of course, but it's also something that you're used to, and it just knocks you off joint when it doesn't do what you're used to. So
There's also another sort of similar setting about allow windows to resize, and I don't allow them to resize. They have to unless I drag it by the corner, stay the
Mhm.
way I left you.
Mhm.
Okay. That is very helpful.
good. I'm glad you found that helpful because it took me a long time to figure that one out or find it, not to figure it out. I knew what I was looking for. I just didn't know where to find it.
And they
it's
moved it on you, Robert.
There's
they moved it
another
on.
one there that I think is actually quite useful. It says, show video preview first. So when I go into any meeting, I get that video preview so I can just, make sure that everything's just right. And I don't like it all the time, but there are weeks when I really want to tidy up. So it's a good thing to know.
Some people call it the mirror option. They just switch it on when they want to do their hair or makeup.
Oh, mirror is a different option, mirroring your image.
Not mirroring your image, a mirror as in a piece of glass that you see your image in.
Just like
So it's
people
called
use their
video
iPhone
preview.
self camera as a compact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video preview. That's what it is.
I always log into meetings early and check my camera and my audio before I join the meeting, or I'll start my own private meeting and
Yeah.
check all my settings before I join the real meeting.
Yep.
But
I do the
guess a lot
private
of people
meeting
don't
too.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of my checklist too. Absolutely. Okay, YouTube audience, you guys have been quiet, even though our panelists have had a lot of legal things that we're talking about today. And David's sneaking back in here with us. And if you do have any questions for the panelists, of course, let us know in YouTube chat. Back to Mr. Paskin.
No, not back to me.
No.
Did we get
So-
Robert's thing? Did you change
Yeah.
the subject already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was right last week, right? We did get a 666 for Halloween.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, 6.6.6. Yeah. Very nice.
I
Hey,
feel
Tony.
that there's some companies would avoid that.
Not Zoom.
We still
Zoom
did we
up.
actually have a poll that actually said, did anybody not install 666 because of the number?
Not because the number. I just haven't updated because I wait for a while.
Is that a thing
Yeah.
that
What?
you wouldn't install something?
Some
They-
people avoid that number. I mean, it's like some towns they went 11th Avenue, 12th
Hey.
Avenue, 14th Avenue, and they skipped 13. It's
Um,
just
Yeah,
superstition.
no 13th floor in
Yeah.
high-rise buildings. Yeah.
No, 13. I knew. I just didn't know 666. All right, moving on.
Six is the mark
Tony.
of the devil.
I know what it is. Tony.
So I think I asked you guys about this last week. The church that I work with is having a special event on the last Sunday of November. It's going to be hybrid. It is going to be in another congregation's sanctuary. In the past, we have used iPhones, try to have them one viewing the speakers and then one viewing the congregation. I was wondering if you guys had a suggestion I may have access to an Insta360 before the service, but I'm not absolutely sure that I'm going to have that. I might just have to use the iPhones. I was just wondering if you guys had any suggestions. It is going to be in person and hybrid. Based on the conversations that we already had today, I'm thinking that we probably need a person that is going to be sort of the host for those that are in Zoom, as well as the worship leader in the sanctuary. So I filed that away, but I was just wondering if you guys had any other suggestions.
So I would, well, first is a question to you. On the Zoom meeting, if you had two iPhones, one on the speaker, one on the audience, would you have those as two separate instances logged into Zoom separately, or are you going to just switch cameras?
There would be, it's one meeting, and they would both be participants in Zoom.
Two separate participants.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me wonder why you would want to have two separate participants when you could have a computer sitting there with your link above it for the audience, and then your phone pointed at the speaker, and you could just switch between cameras. In our church service, we have three cameras. We have one looking at one half of the room, one looking at the other half of the room, and then one, the thing that's in the computer facing the person who's running the machine. So we have options of those three cameras because they're all plugged in. So I'm wondering, and if you set it up, you can make it so that you can change them from the distance.
There's going to be one computer on site, and I'm not. You lost me a little bit. So are you saying that they should not be in the same Zoom meeting, or?
So one computer, one attendee, and that computer can have several different cameras as input to them. So right now I'm on that camera. If I were to switch, I could go to a different camera, all in the same instance, and you'd see a different image in my square. That make sense?
So you're saying as if I was using my ATEM, I would have one input and then switch to the other input. Is that
Yeah,
what
I
you're
just
saying?
did it. I just switched myself from one to another.
So Tony, she said yes, it's similar to the ATEM, except you're just doing the switching in Zoom.
Yeah.
You're
And
just switching a camera. So if you go down to the little
video button.
right, the little thing next to the video button, you
Yep,
can
carrot.
choose a different camera. So if you had two iPhones, connected to as sources to your computer, you could toggle as it were between those two right in Zoom. Although I'm not sure
Okay.
how two iPhones connecting works. I know one works.
I haven't seen two iPhones.
Yeah, I'm not sure
But
if you can do it the same.
but he's got a link, so that would
So
be
there you
wonderful.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Doing this switching in Zoom, Tony, is, forgive me for saying this, it's a bit like a poor man's switcher, right? It's not hardware, it's not software, it's sort of a non-elegant way to just have
Well,
multiple camera views.
So you can go to that little carrot next to the video icon, and you can go and you can choose the thing, or you can do what I do, make a shortcut on your keyboard, label it, change camera, and push the button and your camera changes.
Right, but you
Because
can't
Zoom has
can't
keyboard.
select, right, you can't select the camera you want to change to. You can cycle through them.
That's right.
So, right. So that's the downside of that. But yes, if that's all you need to do, if you don't need to select the specific camera, then what Lois is suggesting works
Yeah. And in our place, the little tiny webcams that we have aren't very broad. So if you're sitting in a circle and you have this little camera, you're not going to see everybody. So we have one getting that half of the room and one getting that half of the room. But that's different than your setup. But what I'm saying is it's easy to switch between them.
And I don't know anything about this particular building, but do I need to try to bring in some type of
Audio?
no, the internet through what is it called when you have hotspot? Hotspot. Do I need to have my own hotspot for this?
Does the congregation have an internet?
I don't know.
You'll
Well,
want to find
I
out
would
if
say
they
bring
have
your iPhone with you then, just in case it doesn't have one.
But you really want to best practice is to plug in. Make sure that you're plugged into Ethernet, if possible.
Tony, if I can just give you my 2 cents, please. Sorry, I jumped in, Frank. But if it's possible to go to one of those congregations before the event, switch on your iPhone and make sure it actually works, because the density, the amount of iPhones or mobile phones that are in a specific location affect the bandwidth that you will have access to.
Right.
So it's not a matter of.
Yeah, I hear you, Robert. Because probably it's like 120 miles away from where I actually live, and I'm really dependent on other people to go and scout the scenery of the building. And the other thing that I recognize as you were saying it is that what the Wi-Fi is when the people look at the building is going to be different when we're actually having the service. So,
Tony, let me ask you this. The church that you guys will be temporarily using, do they have Sunday services online?
they do not.
They do not.
Do
Do they
they
have
have
any services at all online?
They have in-person service only.
And do
Okay.
they have a computer in the office where the minister and their assistant do their work that has an internet connection, or do they not even have an internet connection?
That I don't know. I'm going to say that they probably don't have an internet
Okay.
connection.
So you should probably come as if you were going out in the middle of a field someplace with nothing around and bring what you need. And so the iPhone hotspot usually will work because usually a church is in some place that has some telephone connectivity. And because you're going directly to the phone connection rather than through the internet connection, it shouldn't be as impinged on by other people having their phones on, which they probably won't when they're in the church anyway. And then the other thing is, I don't know about your service provider where you are, but in our area, our service provider has something that you can just plug into the wall to give it power, and it is a self-contained internet connection with a modem, so you can plug in your computer to it. It's a temporary thing. How shall I put that? It comes with a certain number of minutes, or hours or whatever that's on it. But you can carry it with you anywhere, and as long as you can get it power, you can get an internet connection that way. Now, if your internet service provider has that capability, you might be able to just rent one from them. We did that for another group I was with, and it was something like $20 a day, something minimal for getting internet to where there wasn't any.
Okay.
Hey, Frank.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna be on Robert's side. Going to a venue when it's empty is not the same as going to a venue when it's in use. Let's say there's 100 people or 500 people or 1,000 people. Trying to use the in-house Wi-Fi may let you down terribly. Trying to connect to a cell phone tower that's being connected to by 100 or more people may also let you down. What a lot of people don't know is that iPads and iPhones actually support Ethernet. You need a Lightning or a USB to Ethernet adapter, and then you can plug an Ethernet cable into the router, and then you're not relying on Wi-Fi or cell phone at all.
But I would have to provide the internet in order for that
If
to
they don't have
connect
any,
directly.
obviously. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't have internet.
okay. Well, then what Lois is talking about is a hotspot, but
Yeah.
hotspots still connect to the cell phone tower, and if there's a lot of people trying to connect to that tower, it can still result in dropouts and lag and different issues.
I use my my Verizon home box in my theater that doesn't have internet, and it's plug and play as long as that area has Verizon. And for those licensing, I actually did talk to Verizon. They're like, it's your box. You can take it anywhere that has Verizon service. So that's what I do, and then I hardwire my cell phones or hardwire my things right into that box through
And
Ethernet.
if the congregation leader asks the congregants, please turn off your cell phones during the service, then wouldn't there be less connectivity problems?
Won't happen.
People are extremely selfish or technically afraid to touch their devices when they're working and just don't do it.
So if no one's using the phone, is it still degrading the system?
Yes, even if it's just sitting in your pocket and it's on, it's connected to
Is there
the
a lot of
internet.
background? But it's also not just people sitting in the pews. I mean, there are presumably other
Parking lots,
things
businesses
around
nearby.
the
Yeah.
building, right? So, it is what it is. I mean, you only have what you have, but it's just to be you have to be aware.
Not
of the
everything has to
limitation.
be live streamed. I mean, what's wrong with recording something and doing it as video on demand later and uploading it to YouTube or something? What is this need for immediacy all the time?
And there's one
It-
other possibility, Tony, and that is if you don't have to have the people who are watching online on the Zoom meeting, if they do not have to participate in the meeting by saying and talking and being heard and seen, then you can simply have a Zoom meeting set up anywhere in anybody's house. And then sitting in the congregation, you turn on your phone, you join the meeting, and now you're in. So that's another possibility.
You can also buy an add-on for Zoom that allows you to have call in and call out, where people are phone participants. That would use less bandwidth as well.
Yeah, based on the circumstances, I would prefer just to do a recording. That would be my preference, but that is not what. And I kind of understand why they want to stream it. It's because that a lot of the people that would out of state that would want to see it.
I know, but people are unrealistic. Like, I want to go fishing, but there's no lake. Okay, I'll dig a hole for 2 months and I'll fill it with water and then I'll get some fish. Like, sometimes people's requests are unreasonable. If there's no internet, you're asking a lot.
Yeah, this takes me back to the days when I had to go to venues that I had to bring my own internet, and I had to make sure that the internet was there, and I had to pay for a minimum a month of internet at that location, but at least I had a dedicated internet connection. And this is 25 years ago when I did that.
Okay. Well,
So,
thank you.
Tony, is this your people wanting to join another congregation, or is it this other congregation having heard about you and they want to do something?
So what this is that the church that I work with is in the process of building a building, and every, I guess, fifth Sunday of the year, particularly during the warm months, they were outside on the land where the church will be built. So this being the end of November and it's a special service, they asked the church that's actually coming in as the guest, rather than come to the land, if they could have the worship service in their church. And anytime that they've participated in the past, it was them coming in on, I believe, the wife's phone. So they are not, they're not trying to do any technology or anything like that. And so, and I'm assuming that where the church is, there is no internet, and yeah,
It
so
sounds to me like your simplest thing is going to be to have two people with iPhones, one join with video and audio, and one join with video but no audio, and then have someone somewhere turn on a computer and start a Zoom meeting so that you have two instances from the church, one looking at
yeah.
the and one looking at that, and they're two separate squares on the screen, and it's on a Zoom meeting, so everybody in the Zoom meeting can see what they want.
Well, and
I think
also
that's
Yeah.
the
someone,
easiest.
the host in the Zoom meeting can spotlight whichever camera.
Yeah.
That's what I do, is you just spotlight the one you want for everybody to see.
And
Um,
that's
yeah.
basically what we've done in the past. That, I am in the Zoom meeting, managing the meeting, and then there's a computer, a MacBook, and two iPhones that are being used to show the congregation and the leadership,
Mhm.
and that's the way we've done it in the past. And I'll be transparent and say that I don't like it, but it's not my congregation. I'm just support.
Mhm.
So I
Well,
would do
your
it if it
your
was
com-
up to me. I would do it differently, but it's not
yeah,
up to me.
your computer can do what is that? Constant camera, something like that. What's it? What?
Continuity.
camera.
Continuity camera. And so your computer can be using one of the iPhones as a camera, just as a camera, and then the other iPhone can be in the meeting as a separate instance. And as long as the second one doesn't have audio, you should be good to go. It's a good image. It's a good image.
Okay. Thank you all.
Tony, I just want to say one thing though. I would still ask someone to go there during the next ceremony that's being held in the church and connect onto a Zoom meeting with you outside of there and make sure that they can connect. Because if you can't connect during when you have the right amount of people in the church, you're not going to connect when you try to set this up, and that'll be the bottleneck. And the only way around, if there's no landline, there's no local internet available, is to ping the congregation and ask them if anyone's got Starlink mobile, and just stand outside, park a car with Starlink on it, and bring in an Ethernet cable. Otherwise, if you don't have internet, it doesn't matter what technical solution you have, no matter how complicated, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. Well, I'm struggling right now just to try to get pictures of the sanctuary.
Yeah, because the
we-
next problem that you should have too, Tony, is that now you got to make sure that you're getting audio out of the venue, and hopefully they have microphones for you.
Yeah, they have an audio system. I think that the audio system. I don't know, but I'm just based on some of the conversations that we've had in the past. I'm pretty sure that the audio system is full-fledged
Right,
audio
and
system.
now you have to have equipment to make sure that you interface properly with their audio equipment, so that you could actually bring that into Zoom as well, because it's going to be difficult for the audio to come over the iPhone, because you'll get a lot of room acoustics as compared to the nice audio that you would get off of the microphone that might be used at the podium or the lav mic or whatever the pastor is using.
If there's a speaker in the room and you have your phone in a Zoom meeting with a noise suppression from Zoom, it works just fine. I mean, because no matter what's going on, it's coming out of the speaker and it's clear.
Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
And Tony, if you need a helper in that other church place, it's 100 and however many miles away, you might contact the local Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or high school video club or whatever. And there might be some young person who would be happy to run over to the church and check it out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Tony.
we have one person that's going to bring the laptop and the phones, and we probably can get a few volunteers. It's just that for me, there's so many unknowns because I've never been to this building. I don't even know where it's located. I don't know how much of it is, you know, internet. You know, I don't know. It's in the city, but in central Georgia, in the city is could be still in the wilderness. So
Yeah, Tony,
that's
another
things that
suggestion is if you do have people that are going to show up and actually do the testing for you locally at the actual venue, and you're available for them to actually broadcast out of there, aka have a Zoom connection from there, is have a checklist ready for them. Check this.
Okay.
Make sure that you have, make sure that you give them this and send it to them this person via email. Make sure that this is here. Make sure that this is there. Make sure that this is there. Make sure that this is there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, this is very similar to what production companies will do normally, which is called a site survey of a building.
Take pictures of all of it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Robert, over to you.
Tamara, I'm going to call you out now. Have a look at my tiles. They've been stable since the beginning of the Zoom Test Kitchen. So I think David's having a different problem. What we're seeing here is not an issue with tiles stability at all.
I love it. I'm feeling good about it. I'm gonna dig deep and try it. Y'all convinced me. I've been looking for just the reason to do it, so seems
now,
like
Robert, could you, just for our sake, not have it do the flip animation and change the animation so that Tamara can see the different ones on that?
I love the idea of tiles, particularly in this kind of a event.
Yeah. And again, what we were talking about before, Tamara, obviously this would be a bit distracting because all of a sudden you've got all 8 flipping at this different times, right? So what I asked Robert to do is actually take that animation off. And I believe there's a few other different settings.
So for the other people in the room, not Robert, what color do you think the frame should be? And by the frame, I mean the background. I can't even name that color. Aqua? What color would you like if you were viewing this?
I think it would depend on the event because I'd probably brand it for whatever the event is.
I would hope for black or dark brown or burgundy.
Oh, I think I'd like a
darker. It would depend on, if you wanted to actually, as you saw, Robert actually did change as he's bringing us closer to, he is changing the actual outer edges too. So if you had too dark of a color, you won't see it.
Right.
We've got a bit of a haloing effect around each one of them now, Robert, too. You've added, there you go.
Shadow.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
That's an image background.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the idea of it being slightly different than black because the whole purpose would be the wow factor of it being Zoom Plus,
Right. And here's a perfect example too, Robert, when you've got a chance there is to not have the Rob meters come up as a choice. So that would show Tamara that, that's where you would not have that certain video come up all the time, right?
I've played with it before. I just haven't ever used it. And this is the kind of event to use it for. And I have another event that meets once a month that is doing the grossest, just throw everything onto a screen. And it makes me cringe every time I see it. So I would love to introduce this. If this works here, it will work there. Hopefully.
So there's no flipping now. There's just going to be a crossfade.
No movement at all.
I like that.
I guess there isn't enough of us. Let me just reduce the number of.
Yeah, we took the meters out, so
Now,
And
was it,
David
is there
left.
just, yeah, is there enough inputs? Robert with us right now that it
Here
won't,
we go. All
there we
right.
go. Now we're getting serious.
Got it.
Now he's doing.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yep.
And if
And
I don't want it to actually switch, I can pin people to certain box. So as people come in, they're just in those boxes and it doesn't switch, or is it always a switch?
Robert, I'll leave that one up to you. I don't know enough about that.
I'm not 100% sure, to be very honest with you, but I'm going to just check because I've done this in the past, but there's a way of defining who's in there. I'm not sure if there's a way
I
of saying,
think the way I remember it being, and I played with it a long time ago, is
Tamara
that
has homework.
you can force a fake gallery view by like pinning people as they come in, or and then making it so that they don't leave. I don't know how to do that, but I remember that was how they were kind of like, it's not designed for that purpose for the way that we're using it, but if you starred them, then they wouldn't be moving in and out. And so you could essentially you couldn't necessarily put them in, but it would be the order of which you starred them. So I'm going to play around with it. I just remember there being a cheat that you could do to create a solid
So
gallery
Tamara,
view.
this is the gallery view that you don't hear them talking, you just see them. The real live audience can see who's awake.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
We don't
So-
really care that, like, we just want them to feel a connection with the audience out there.
Mhm.
And then the only other time would be, which we also have to figure out. It's the next part. They have some kind of paddle raise happening, which I think is going to be digital. They've got some software, so I'm going to have to figure that out.
Okay.
to
The
figure
only
out
reason
what
I
that-
say is, and I applaud you for wanting to use tiles. I brute forced this about 6 months ago before we had access to tiles by using OBS and Zoom ISO and NDI.
Mhm.
Right.
And I could pin people into specific, I made a nice background and nice box.
Yeah.
And pin people in specific places on the screen and said, I'm done.
And it didn't have to be an array. You could
Right.
you
That's
could
right.
do what you want. So right here, you've got room at the bottom for some words if you need to put these
Mhm.
captions, or at the top for the title of the program or whatever.
Right.
But you probably have more flexibility than that. You can probably scoot everything up a little bit and have more room
Right.
for things. Anyway,
I mean, I could technically
Tamara,
do it
you
with
have-
eCam as well. I
Yep,
just need
right.
to,
there you go.
you know.
You have homework. I
Yeah.
expect you have a report next week.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the problem is, like, if it were just me, then I would probably use eCam and just create a gallery view, use eCam for Zoom. But I'm also the one who's running the interior meeting as well. So it's hard to kind of play both. Maybe I could do it.
in this session of tiles, I've set the view
Mhm.
of each person to 720p.
Okay.
Depending on your screen size, you can drop it down to 360 if you don't need that higher resolution. We've had all of this going on a small M2 Mac
Mhm.
Mini with minimum 8 gig RAM, just nothing else. It just runs tiles.
That's good. I have an M2.
Yeah. I don't believe I've run meetings with up to 1,000 people, and I've had this rotating through on tiles,
Hmm.
and I've only about half of them had their cameras on,
Right.
admittedly, but I never had an issue of jamming up or slowing down or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's because even though it's pulling down the feeds, I think your internet access, your bandwidth is more critical than the machine itself
Right.
when you're using tiles.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I have to actually hop off to a meeting, but thank you all for jumping in and giving me such good advice. And I'm going to play with it this week and I'll let you know how it goes.
Go your toys.
Come back for more questions.
Yes, but just make sure it's before the event.
It is. So I have 1 week before the event is actually the 17th, Monday the 17th. So I have some time to play with it and come back and ask some questions that I may have.
And of course, for everybody on YouTube, and Tamara's in there all the time on Discord, do
Yeah.
it in the Zoom Tiles channel.
Absolutely. Thank you
Cool.
guys.
All right. Cool. So, all right. So, Andre, that's good news that you actually, Andre is watching us on YouTube and he's actually saying, I'm going to, what did he say here? Andre, he says, thanks for your conversation. I've fiddled with tiles and will use it for an upcoming event instead of showing the gallery on site. Excellent. Robert, 2 thumbs up on that one. Yeah. So as you can see, Robert was playing with it live. If you're still watching with us here, I'll just quickly spotlight again. So as you saw, Robert actually moved it up to the top where there's all 4 of us just up here now. So, and again, too, what you'll also notice is that Tony actually has his camera off right now. So it actually is showing his slide, right?
Actually, I think he has his camera on because don't show non-video
Got
participants.
the Zoom camera on.
My camera's on. My camera's on. It's just a picture of animated me.
Okay. All right.
Because
Yeah, because I was
showing any feeds with cameras off, so there's that option.
So again, but you do have that
like this when I leave my camera on and I have vMix do stuff. So
right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I found
it's not that smart.
But I have found tiles very, very stable. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in tiles. You can play with it, bum around with it when it's live, and there's no issues. I haven't found any issues. But having said that, this solution works best for me when I plug it and push it through an ATEM through the second monitor. And
now, Robert, explain to me that you actually there's one feed that was coming in that actually has. It looks like it's tiles itself. Is that?
Yeah, because I'm actually pushing this into Zoom on the same computer that I'm logged into tiles. So it's picking up. It's picking up that.
So you could actually you could actually take that person out too then.
Yeah, I can take that person out, no problem.
Right. No, I'm just saying
because we just don't have that many people in the meeting.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Felt like I was watching The Sopranos for a second. We're taking people out all over the place.
That's it. Absolutely.
See, my problem with tiles is that I don't have a Mac. So
that would be my problem
too. The graphics toolkit I do like. So
and we do like it as Windows people. We really do.
Yep.
Yeah. So Ray,
what I've just showed you is that it doesn't require a lot of power. This is like the really low end Mac to run.
I actually lied, Robert. I have a Mac. It's an M1 Intel chip, so it doesn't run.
There's no M1 Intel.
No.
It's silicon.
Well, okay. Whatever the non-Apple stuff is.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Ray, did you want to talk about what you brought up in Discord? We never got a chance to do that yet. Does that fit into this or no?
David talked about it real briefly. What I discovered in playing with the graphics toolkit to start with is that I was using the join with just the join string, and it would come in as me, and there would be 2 of me, and I could go in and rename me to something else, which I renamed one of me, the one running the Zoom graphics toolkit instance, as chat and questions. The problem is that once I then take that instance and boil it down to a little teeny thumbnail and move it up to one of my other 4 monitors to get it out of the way, and I have my regular Zoom workplace here where I'm now managing the meeting, and then I'm pulling up a PowerPoint and I'm sharing the PowerPoint, and then I want to go in and send a chat to somebody, and I Alt-Tab to go find a window, and a chat window comes up. I don't have a way of knowing, is that chat and questions chat window or is it Ray Harwood's chat window? And so what I'm really asking for is where it says participants or chat or any of those things that you can enter something in, including the workplace window, can it right next to that put your display name as who the owner of that window is? And that would help, less than 0.01% of the Zoom users of the world, perhaps. But it certainly
Still a
would
good
help.
idea, though. Seems
Yeah.
like a great feature request.
Yeah, that's basically I put that in as a
Now,
feature.
Ray, remind me, where did you put that on in Discord? Do we actually have a graphics toolkit channel?
Yeah, I put it in the graphics toolkit.
Okay. All right. So Andy and the team from Liminal and the team, I guess I have to stop saying the team from Liminal. I guess Andy's team, I guess will be the best way of saying it now. Should definitely take a look at that if you guys are watching the audio on YouTube.
They are from Liminal in a past tense sort of way.
Right. Past tense. That's correct. And I just noticed since I'm watching YouTube chat, the Hershey bar has showed up. Howdy, Hershey bar. Good to see you. Pun intended. So that's good. So Robert, was there any other testing that you wanted to do with tiles? You're doing good. So you're doing so well over there.
Yeah, I've been playing with tiles. That's one of the tests I was doing. But the other one was because I'm running this 4 Mac Minis into an 8M Mini, and on one of the Mac Minis, I run Playout B. And with Playout B, I've had this challenge all along that if I'm showing slides, we can set up a sequence of slides and then just time them differently and they'll run through.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play any music. That's been an issue for me because
you can't play music and slides.
Yeah, you have to use a different app to play the music unless you've embedded music into the slides. But then how do you end the music the right place in the slide that you're leaving and start in the correct place on the next slide? It's just an impossible thing to do. So I'm running the music from OBS, and I was trying to figure out how in one place I can manage this in a sensible manner. And I have
what you probably want to do is bring these slides into OBS to do that too, because you could actually have both in OBS then. The slides rotating and also music playing.
There's software like ProPresenter that helps you organize your rundowns and your music and your slides all on one interface, right?
Yeah, there is. But I use Playout B. Yeah, and I was trying to figure out how to do it.
What about like something like QLab or something?
Yeah, so I've got Playout B, and then I just ran OBS in the background with the music playing, and I've used a Stream Deck with the Stream Deck Plus with the rotary knobs, and I've used OSC so that I can start, mute the music, change the music, change the volume with the knobs, which is really cool, all through OSC. And one of the things I discovered that I really fell in love with is that you can define a button on the Stream Deck that'll show you the level of the volume. You don't have to look at OBS to see what the level of the volume of the playout is. Because the knob, the button itself will change colors, just like the scale of the sound meter. So that was really cool. So a couple of toys like that. That's the other thing I've been testing and playing with. And that's what I was showing that I can.
The only concern that I would have, and I love Jonas's Playout B software as well, is that what his initial thought process was it was a playlist, right? So it's like you're doing this, then you're doing that, then you're doing this, right? And that's normal, especially when you're talking about if it is to be a true hyperdeck replacement, right? Is that you're playing this video clip, then you're playing that video clip, then you're playing this video clip from the ATEM. So it's more the ATEM talking to Playout B, and the ATEM is triggering Playout B. Now, when it comes to OBS, and this is again my suggestion, is that if you're just running a slideshow with music, like say at the very beginning of an event or at the end of an event or even intermission of an event, is to have the slideshow within OBS, and you could actually have the audio within it's its own layer, right? It'll be a hidden layer because it's just audio, but it would be its own layer where you have the slides coming from a folder in OBS, which you probably are already doing. Then you would add the actual audio clips, and they can. I don't know if you can do a folder of those as well, where you could actually randomize or not, but something's telling me maybe that you could actually do that as well if you wanted to.
But the reason I like Playout B and not OBS is that you can mix stills with video files.
I put a link in the chat you might want to look at. It's called
Okay.
MIDI. It's a pretty well-known media management for presentations. And it supports Stream Deck as well. It's very well known and quite well liked.
I have opened it, and I will start playing with it.
It supports videos, stills, PDFs, audio files, web pages, Windows. It supports NDI, Siphon. You can even bring in Blackmagic cameras and some other things too, but mostly people use it for multimedia synchronization with rundowns and, you know, when you cues for shows and stuff.
Frank, this has the way of going out to a projector, right? Or out to a screen too?
Yeah, that's it's used in lots of venues like hotel ballrooms or, you know, conference centers or traveling events, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank. I will definitely look at it and play with it. Like I said, my goal here was to use the tools that I have, which is OBS, Playout B, the Stream Deck with the rotary knobs, the Stream Deck Plus, and using OSC.
It supports Stream Deck. I don't know if it supports the knobs or not. I haven't looked at it recently to see if they kept up with that, but it's possible because I know they support Stream Deck.
Yep.
Yeah, Robert, you're starting to get into more and more complex productions, is what I'm starting to hear now. So you're starting to get into more and more stuff.
We were doing this before. I mean, we do use vMix, and we have used it, but I don't like taking vMix out of the studio because it's such a big box to carry around, to be very honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
and
fair. And on top of that too, it should be, you know, it should be in a nice road case and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, instead of it just being a desktop of some sort. Yeah.
And the second thing is I don't like setting up an NDI network for vMix outside of the studio. I just find it's nicer to have I've got a rack, the NDI switcher is in there, it's sitting there, the cabling is in place, it's all stable, there's nothing to go wrong there.
I don't work for that the company I'm telling you about, but one thing that a lot of people like about it is they have a perpetual license. You can just buy the license, right? No subscriptions. Or you can do just rental, like I think it's 2 days or something on 2 computers. But every time you rent it, they remember that you rented it and that goes towards the purchase price. So if you ever decide to pull the trigger, let's say you've rented it 4 times, those 4 increment payments go towards your lifetime licensing. You can just pay the difference. And so it's kind of almost like try before you buy, or at least incremental payment situation, which is a cool thing that a lot of companies don't do, right?
A lot of companies, that's pretty unique. That is
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Hello, David, on YouTube, and Andre's still with us, I think, in YouTube. That's cool. All right. And if you do have any questions for the panelists, Frank's here, Robert's here, Ray's here, myself as well. Let us know in YouTube chat, and we'll do our best to get you guys answers before the end of the show. As Robert continues to play with tiles, and I'll show you what he's playing with when he's ready to do something funky next, and I'll spotlight him.
Give me a suggestion. I don't know what to think of.
Oh, to play with? Okay.
Playback video, a video clip in one of the windows.
There's a good one. All right. Did I? Oh, I did. Yeah. Okay. So Robert, that is that. So I got the right screen, right? You're showing the supervisory board meeting one.
I'm going to try and change that and just get rid of all of us for the time being.
Okay. Yeah, video clip and tiles. Because I was also contemplating too when Tamara was talking about that stuff too. Automatically with John and I doing Lord Zoom now, I'm getting more and more into production studio and liking it quite a bit. I was just wondering if the actual production studio workflow would actually work for her event, but I don't
Lord
know enough
Zoom.
about it for the close.
No,
The one
it-
thing
it
that I
would-
did know was closed captioning.
It wouldn't, Mike, because she wants to do a meeting and use tiles to show people, and that production studio is webinar only.
Right. Right.
There's a Lord Zoom show?
Yes. Every
Where and
Tuesday.
when? Where?
Where and when? On for more info, and Mr. Drinkwater, I believe, was in YouTube. He was there momentarily, anyways, when I saw him. LordZoom.com for more information.
And what happens there?
What happens there? We talk. We go specific. We're a little different of a show where we're not like wide open as Zoom Test Kitchen is. We're more of Frank, John, and I will actually pick a specific topic related to Zoom, and it will be either a feature or a brand new functionality. So yeah, if you want to check us out, lordzoom.com.
Yeah, I just emailed it to myself. Thanks.
All right.
So this is actually an MP4 video of a slideshow, of a slide deck, and it's going through tiles, and it's defined as one tile that is 16 by 9.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So it's something else.
But here you're really just playing a video, right, Robert?
Yeah, I'm playing a video. It's a video.
Could you put the same video in like 12 tiles and have it like a mosaic or something? I
I
don't know.
don't know how to replicate the same video source in several tiles.
Tiles. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. Could
Still
you
cool.
actually have multiples of a user in tiles or a participant? I guess I got to use the right Zoom terminology. You have a captive audience, Robert. No pressure.
We'll give you at least 30 seconds to figure it out.
Frank's being nice. Look at that. 30 seconds. I'm impressive.
I grow weary of your foolishness.
Oh,
Was that Star Wars or Star Trek?
oh, I don't know. I don't know. You actually had
I
me
thought it
on
was
that one.
Monty Python.
Oh, there we go.
Everybody steals from everybody.
Don't they though?
No, I can't see a way of duplicating it.
Duplicating. So no duplicating a participant. Interesting. Okay.
Next release.
Feature request.
I don't think I can't think of any scenario where I'd like to use that, but
I can think of all kinds of weird things. Could you imagine if you could make like, let's say 3 rows of 6 or something, and you wanted to spot like one person, and it would kind of like, you know, when you shuffle a deck of cards and it flips over, the person went from window to window to window all the way across. That would be like a neat kind of like a bumper stinger kind of transition thing.
It's us wacky Canadians, Robert. What do you want from us? Okay. There you go. You come up with the wacky stuff.
It'd be like shuffle, you know, like shuffling the tiles.
Yeah,
around,
you're
but
shuffling. Yeah,
different-
you're shuffling
different kind, like
cards.
take an
Yeah.
element and push it across, you know.
Yeah.
Then you could do all kinds of weird things.
the things we haven't played with tiles, I've only got one tile set up now, but if I go back to the original configuration, it will show hands, raising hands. So we can set it up to show reactions. So there are other things you could, overlays that
It
you
does
can
the
put on.
emoji fountains too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. Who knew there would be such a word in the English language? Emoji fountains.
Yeah,
It's a brave new world.
Mm. Back to Robert Stiles. Oh. Oh, he's thinking. He's like, hold on. All right. I feel like I'm one of those sports announcers that you're on radio right now, and I'm supposed to tell everybody what Robert's doing in the background. Okay. No, I can double spotlight. All right. Of course I can. There we go. Even better. All right. It's not frozen, Robert, right? Oh, there we go. Okay. Into infinity and beyond in the top left. Oh
Yep.
my. And your camera's doing some wonderful things again.
Don't even talk about my camera, please.
Correct. Oh, as Frank's looking at his clock going, oh, how much longer? All right.
No, it's in my time zone. It's supper time, so I'm just thinking about supper.
Supper time. Yep. Oh, at Robert. David has a request. At Robert, could we see the designer interface to better understand what you're doing in tiles? Are you equipped, Mr. Robert, to
I
show
don't
off?
know. Let me see. I'm not sure. I'm not really ready for this. I haven't even got I can't even share screen on this particular machine because I haven't got the Mac OS set up to share screen. And if I switch those options off, I'll have to restart the app for them to get in place. So
Yeah, and we're
This is gonna
seeing
be
a number
tricky.
2 as well. Is that coming from the Mac? The number 2 on the top?
number 2 on the top, that is coming from, yeah.
Looks like an attempt to share a screen.
It's attempt to share a screen, exactly.
Right. And while Robert's doing that too, I actually noticed, oh yeah, so Frank came back and all of a sudden Frank was able to, when he was off video. So I'm going to do that too. So if I go off video, I disappear. And if I come back on video, I'm back.
Yeah, that is really cool. That is nice. The only thing about tiles is you don't want to play with the audio video sync. It's just an
Right.
impossible task.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not meant to be that. It's not that tool. Right.
It's a visual tool.
Yeah. I mean, you could imagine getting an audio feed and delaying it for probably about 2 seconds and trying to sync
Sure.
it up, but
Sure.
I don't know how consistent that will be because I'm not sure. There's no timestamp.
And again, of course, that's assuming that all your participants are also in sync too. Right. So because that would cause you even more madness. Who do you sync to then at that point?
Can I raise a weird tangential issue?
Sure.
So, Instagram has filters, right?
I'm not a big Instagrammer, but I'll agree with you.
Weird, wacky filters, right? Anyways, what's little known is that in the broadcast industry, especially for sports, there's a pro division of Instagram that sells these filters and a system to venues. You know, when they do like the lookalikes on screen, like some kid in the crowd looks like some cartoon character, and then someone in the crowd looks like a famous actress or whatever, or they melt their face or whatever. They sell these filters through a different sort of interface, but they're both coming from the same filter engine. It would be interesting for the graphics toolkit to support filters at some point as a plugin or something.
Interesting.
Not everything's corporate. Sometimes you can have fun, right?
Well, yeah,
Whose
that's it.
face do I want to melt today?
But imagine you're having
Yeah.
a company retreat or something, and you want to put the boss up there in a side by side with maybe like some humorous, loving character, or you want to put like two coworkers separated at birth or something. Like who knows? Like I just think the idea that the toolkit could eventually support filters, and maybe the filters could do different things, would be an interesting concept, and they could allow external people to develop filters, or maybe they just want to do them internally.
Right. Which actually, this leads to a question that just came to me. Frank, are you seeing a lot of gamification at the University of Zoom? And no is allowed to be an answer.
I think gamification's a big deal in everything at the university. So if instructors are into it, they bring it into Zoom. If they're not into it, they don't. But yeah, definitely it happens in Zoom and in Teams and all kinds of places where, if you take something like Kahoot or, whatever your favorite kind of tool like that is, you bring it in as a slide share and people are competing to get points to see who answered the question the fastest, right? And they don't realize they're learning at the same time, right? Because they're having fun, but really it's a subtle way of making them think and learn, right? Because they're competing, right?
Right. Have you seen it go? Have you seen the gamification increase over the last couple of years?
Yeah, especially since the pandemic. The pandemic was probably an eye-opener for a lot of people who had never thought about doing a lot of these things. And then they had to look at their material and teaching practices differently. And then after the pandemic sort of went out of everyone's consciousness, people kept those techniques for in class or virtual or hybrid. So yeah, they didn't go away after.
Yeah, very cool.
I mean, how would you use tiles to gamify? Could you put trivia questions in one of the tiles? Or, I mean, obviously there's no response system, but
as a participant, you could actually do pretty much anything. If it's an audio video participant, then you could tile it.
So a contribution machine could show up as a participant, but be tasked to doing graphics or something else.
Sure. Again, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, as long as you could tile one person, correct? You can go down to just being one tile.
That's effectively what I did just now with the presentation.
So I mean, you could have a 4 up or a 6 up and reserve space for a graphics participant or something where a slideshow or something else is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Robert, again, I know that we're right now in a 4-box, but can you actually just have like a 2 on one side where you could actually have half the screen, just the background? Is that a template?
We don't have templates here. You actually set up the config and define how you want the layout to look like.
Right. Okay. So again, when it comes to layouts, can you have it just, let's say in what we've got right now is the 4. Can you just have 2 on the left side and not 2 on the right side?
Looks like kind of the production studio setup. Once you get a single row, it centers them. Oh no, look at that.
Yeah. So
Starting
you could
to get. You remember those real estate TV channels back in the 90s? Starting to think of evil ways we could use this that would be bad.
Oh yeah.
We could put the house on one side and show the interiors while Robert's describing the lovely amenities.
Well, again, if you're 2 participants.
Yeah, but keep in mind that we can do something else, which David does. And I'm not set up to do that. You can define an area where you'll put an extra feed. So you could have the house, for example, in the big picture, and 2 or 3 people around it. Or you could imagine a game. Yeah. You can see the game in the middle and people around it playing, I don't know what, poker, chess, whatever.
Esports.
Yeah, so you could actually make your own virtualized poker table.
The football game on one side and the commentators talking about it on the other.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
why. Yeah, that's why I was wondering, Robert, if we could, if you actually with the layout, now you've got the actual two boxes, but they're on top. There's no way to get it side by side.
I haven't found a way of putting it like vertically to one side. No.
Right, because we're then that's sort of what Frank I think was sort of getting at, where you actually have two on the left, and then here comes Leo. All right, cool. Leo's about to join us here momentarily. So he wants to be a tile too. So we'll have Leo the tile here momentarily.
You have to pay your annual tile subscription fee to be in the tile.
That's
For a
fair.
slightly higher amount of money per month, you can have a prominent tile.
Yeah. Well, there's Leo. And again, see what ended up happening with Leo? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, well,
Because right now he's 9 by 16.
yeah,
The
Tiles doesn't know what
tiles,
to do with that, right?
yeah.
It
Robert,
knows
is
what
that
to
a
do with
setting?
it. It just doesn't do what we expect it to do.
Okay. Whoa,
Oh,
that was
we
interesting.
squished.
Squeeze.
Yeah, everybody just saw us on YouTube now with a bit of the delay. So now you know why we made that noise.
This
Yeah,
is
so
all
Robert, now
happening
you've
in
got it.
real time. I was reconfiguring and changing the format in real. It's like live. It's really nice.
And it didn't blow up your Mac either doing it.
No, Tiles is solid. It is really solid in terms of working.
All right, I'm gonna bail here. It's 3:30 Phoenix time. Hopefully, catch you guys again next week.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Take care. Yep.
Take care. All right, so we'll definitely see more of Leo now with only there being so many of us in here. So Leo is driving and definitely
Yeah, so
as we
Tile doesn't like me, does it?
no. Are you able to
Wow.
go 16:9 with your phone? I don't know if I know you're driving, so I'm not having you take your
How
hands
about
off the
that?
wheel to do so.
Does that go 16:9?
No, you're right. Oh, no, now you are. Yeah.
Yeah, if I turn on a light so you can actually see me. Yeah, there you go. Well, you're just seeing the back of my steering wheel, so that's not going to
We
help
are.
much.
Yeah.
I have to turn it the other way around. See if it does it the other way around. How's that? And now I can turn on my light. There you go.
That's pretty good.
There you go. So that's 16:9 on that's a 15 Pro, so it should be the right shape, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like there is a bit of a black box on the. Oh, there we go. That's sort of what I was talking about, Robert.
Yeah, but this is 4 because when you do the. Oh, maybe let me just try one more thing.
All right. He's still experimenting.
Of course he is. Robert experiments.
Oh, all right.
As soon as you put 2 in, it gives it a horizontal format. So.
Okay. So that's very production studio. Yes. I agree with Ray when he was talking about that. That's very production studio where it does that automatically. If you have only so many, perfect example is we did John and I did a recent interview with Bree from the Zoom community. She's the head person of the Zoom community champions, which officially I am now, by the way. So I'm now officially one of the 50 of us that are Zoom community champions. So both John and her and I were in there, and there was times where I was using a template from production studio, and it was a 3-box plus a share. And of course, I only wanted them two to be up when they were just talking to each other, and I was actually doing some of the TD in the background in the production studio. And of course, that's exactly what it did. Was it went to 2-box side by side on the fly. And when I had it the same template with 3 of us in there, it went 3 wide with us instead. Oh, there we go. All right. That's sort of more phone-ish. Let me get more of the frame.
If you have that up, if I now turn my phone back to 16:9 to the other way, 9:16.
Yeah.
Do I now look, or am I still I'm still not right, am I?
It's yeah, no, it still wants to widen you.
Okay. Okay. Is that the point where you say, "Do I look fat in this?" Is that the,
Yes, if it that would be officially what it's doing to
yeah.
you. Yes, for free, Leo. Yeah,
This
absolutely.
this is when you officially say the TV adds pounds to you or whatever. I can't remember the
That's
exact
right.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, for free. Yeah, yeah.
For free.
Oh, and Kieran in YouTube is saying, is TALS instead of Ecamm? My answer to that would be depending on your usage, where Ecamm is more of video switcher software, where all Tiles is doing is it's grabbing all your participants from the actual meeting that you're in this case, our Zoom Test Kitchen meeting that we're in right now that Robert's bringing all of us in. And he's actually, it's, I would call it more as a non-techie, a pretty version of gallery view to a point, and then that's very non-technical. Again, what Robert was doing was a lot more to it than that. But go ahead, Leo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're in the dead zone there, Leo. You're back now.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, tiles, you've exactly summed up tiles. I use tiles when we've got multiple participants in a meeting and we want to show them on a big screen in the room. So where you've got 100+ people, because it will flip between and show different people all the time. If you heard
Right.
me.
Yeah, no, we heard you, Leo. We got you on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you not find that flipping and changing the dynamics of that change distracting for the audience on site? Because that's the sort of feedback that I've been getting.
Not really. I think it's a nice feature, Robert, for doing those sort of like where you've got the Zoom gallery as a backdrop, to try and show how many people are in the room. So you know the 49+. I just think it's nice, but like everything, it can be overpowering if it's used too often.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And Leo, I don't know if you caught earlier when Tamara is thinking of using tiles for her event coming up in 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
And
she left already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
I
of the
don't know.
use cases. I'm sorry.
Go far away.
One of the use cases that I've found works really well is if you have a panel and you that is online and on site, you put the panel that is online up in tiles big on a screen in the room, and then the person who's speaking you take out and you spotlight that person so that you don't get the audio sync issues. And then once he's finished speaking, you put him back into the tiles layout. Because then the panel is like you see the reactions of the panels, the visuals, just like you see the reaction of people in a panel that are on site.
Oh, it moved us over. I'm in the middle now. Ooh.
I didn't do that.
I did that. I have no idea. But anyway, that was interesting.
Did you just still flip around just then? Did you just still flip around?
Yeah, we all flipped, but well, you
Okay.
and Mike changed swap places.
Okay, only that I just went to gallery view on my phone rather than did maybe that forced it? I don't know. Let me do it again. Did it do it?
No.
No. Okay.
It might have been coincidental that maybe something in the tiles, Robert, right?
No, I think what happened is that we lost Leo for a second, and so we lost his.
Yeah.
When he came back at the end.
Yeah, you know what I did? I went instead of I swiped right instead of left, so I went.
Yeah, you went off camera. Yeah, and now you're back. And now you're muted.
Yeah, yeah. That will. I think that's going to end up being on people's tombstones, isn't it? Finally muted or something.
Finally muted.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That is good. I like
Forever
that.
forever cannot find the unmute. Anyway,
That's right.
I don't
There's
much.
got to be somebody making, hundreds of dollars by now. You're on mute. Having a
You
shirt
got
that
the
says you're on
t-shirt,
mute.
I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think the
oh,
t-shirt. I think the t-shirt you want is "You may not be on mute, but I'm not listening."
even better. That's even better. Oh, Mr. Bradley, your buddy Leo. Mr. Bradley's got a comment.
Okay.
Eternally muted. Eternally muted.
There you go. There you
And I'll do the add the bit of the British accent. Eternally muted.
I know. Well, that you may have tried, but I don't recognize it. But anyway,
Understood.
I say that, and there's me going into the. I'm crossing to your side of the world. Look, this is the disaster because I've been working all day, and this is what I've got for dinner.
Oh, McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. And I can't be bothered to do a drive-through.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
And if my buddy Giles is watching, Leo, you fit into what our old show used to be. Was one of the people that used to join us live during our show used to do exactly what you're doing, was holding a phone and actually walking and talking to us live. So this is cool. Let's bring it back.
Somebody who used to do that all the time on office hours. Somebody used to do that all the time. There's a couple of people. David Braby did it in New York.
Oh, maybe David, let us know in chat because you're still watching us on YouTube. Did Leo call you out? Was that you?
Yeah, he used to always be walking through New York. So there you go. On his way to somewhere.
Yeah, this is actually not a bad layout like this, Robert. Oh my. Now you're getting serious with the label now. Okay.
Yeah, I was just
Now
trying
all
to
of a
show
sudden it's
that
becoming a lower, it's now a lower third now officially.
yeah, you can change the size, you can change the location, so that is also nice. Or you can remove it altogether if you don't want to.
Yeah. So Leo, if you can still hear us, I know you're inside there now. David officially is saying that he's talking about Thanksgiving Day parade. Is he correct? Does that sound familiar?
He did do the Thanksgiving parade. I think we watched it from his window or something one year, but that was, I remember. So, my Apple app, so I'm.
Oh, nice. And you can change the font too. Yeah, no, I like that font. Robert.
And you can change the font, you can change the color of the font, you can change the background color. I'm just seeing if you can change the background shape, or whether it's just like a highlight.
Interesting. And it's not much of a delay either, too. Interesting.
2 seconds.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I honestly expected more than that, to be honest. But that's not bad. So that was just a test for everybody. Oh, question again. This one's for Robert. Robert mentioned earlier that he chose 720p. What was the reasoning for 720p, Robert?
Because I can hardly see any difference between having this at 1080 and 720, so I just chose the lower bandwidth. At 360, when you drop it to 360, the resolution, you can see there's a difference. I can show you. I can swap them around.
Okay. Yeah. This is for Kieran in YouTube.
This is 90p.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to see it now. So do not adjust your visual stuff on YouTube. We're still running at 1080p. So if you want to see the difference, by all means, stay with 1080p. Go ahead,
And
Robert.
now each feed is 1080p. I think you can see it on our hair mostly because the hair is very clear.
I guess
360. This is down to 360 now. I don't like
Right.
360. It looks too blurry.
Right. It starts to get, yeah, you're correct. Yeah, you're
So
starting to get a little, especially with
with-
this big, Robert, right? Because you're bigger than 360 now at this point when you're sending it, because you're morphing it higher than 360. But if you were like a 25 or a 49, 360 is perfectly fine because you are only 180 maybe at that particular
Yeah.
point on the screen.
So this is 720 now, back to 720.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So we got some digital signage coming in from Australia.
Yeah, they've got these new. This is their heist menu. They've stolen menus from around the world. So that's what we've got at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you just walk up to it and say, yes, I want one of these?
When you walk up to that thing,
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
kiosks nowadays, Robert.
it's
Yeah.
not kiosk. Nothing. This is the inside of McDonald's. There is no people. I did no. It's just a
Staff.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then then you physically the only physical person nowadays is the person that gives you the food.
Yeah. And 1 million Uber drivers or Deliveroos. So
Yep, he was right. Yeah, not a word of a lie there. Yep, absolutely.
that's how it is. Change the world.
Oh, and Kieran's also in Melbourne, Australia. Leo, there you go.
Okay. Well, I'm not, but yeah. So I wonder if Kieran has had the Australia's pineapple McSpicy. Is it?
Yeah, so Kieran, so there you go, Kieran. So you actually see that Robert now is changing the actual outer frame. So yeah, you could go down to us being dots too if you wanted to, right? Full circles, Robert, right? Is that as far as it goes, Robert? Or
That's
will
as far as
actually
it goes. But I can change the aspect ratio. If I give it a square, then it'll
Right.
be round.
Oh, there we
So
go.
it's square
Right.
becomes round. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Your name is actually going outside it now too, because of the size. Again, Robert having the longer last name. But yeah, Kieran was saying, thanks for showing the differences. This is the first time that I've been live due to time zones. Excellent, Kieran. Welcome from Australia. That's cool. Good to see you. Yeah, we just hang out here our time. Officially, we go by our 3:00 Eastern for Kieran's sake. So convert everything accordingly. And we're usually here for, probably a good 2-3 hours, making sure that we can break Zoom on purpose and hopefully have Zoom fix it live. We've been lucky sometimes. So it automatically wants to, interesting. So there's no left aligning, right aligning, Robert, right? No stuff like that.
No. Well, there is left, right, vertical, but it takes the three. It won't allow you to put them vertically on the left in threes.
Right.
But what I have done now is I've used the punch a hole. That's to be able to provide a different source into that. And the idea here is to see if we can use this for what Tamara wants to use and put something in there. Let's see if I can put a feed in there.
Okay. Now this is a question, and I don't know enough about tiles, and I didn't want to mention this to Tamara. And I know you play with closed captioning. Can you actually bring closed captioning in to tiles? I'm thinking no yet.
I think you can, not through the tiles itself. You'd have to use it as an overlay. But
yeah, Leo's nodding and agreeing, even though he's eating. Cool, Leo. We got
so since I'm going out through an ATEM Mini, I would just put it in as a. Oh, Leo centered himself.
You bring through the other thing. I've forgotten what it's called. That part of the Yeah.
Graphic toolkit, Leo?
Yeah. The graphic toolkit.
Okay, so yeah, we were mentioning that earlier to Tamara as well, where the graphic toolkit would be its own layer. Could you actually layer the graphic toolkit on tiles? Interesting.
Well, you can do anything if you, as Robert said, if you bring it in as another source in your ATEM,
Right. Okay.
and you put it as a downstream key, and you could do it that way.
Right. And Robert, right now the feed that you're sending us now though is coming out of the Mac directly. This is not in the ATEM, right?
This
Or
is
is it?
coming, well, let me see. I'll cut. Yes, it is coming through the ATEM.
Oh, okay. So in theory, with us three up here, you could actually have closed captioning on the bottom then.
That's exactly what I'm
Like you
trying to
did
do. Well, there's two
okay.
ways of doing it, through the ATEM or through, there's this option of punch a hole. And punch a hole is something that you can put a video feed in. So I have to take the URL, produce a video feed and push it into that hole that I've made, which is sort of a scratching your left ear with your right hand job. But
Right. So what do you think, knowing that you do this more often, would it be easier just to bring it in the ATEM as a downstream? It would
definitely.
be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it would be more, even though I like tiles and think it's really stable, putting in, I just feel more comfortable with the ATEM. I think that ATEM is just like brick solid. You just
right. Mm-hmm. Again, you're not going to get any arguments from me. You know me and my hardware. I love my hardware before our software. So I'm big time a hardware dude. The hardware is built for a reason, and if it doesn't work properly, you shouldn't be using the hardware, right? So if the hardware is going to fail on you, it's hardware failing on you. But yeah, when it comes to software, you got the underlying hardware that the software is relying on. So we hope that it's reliable hardware that you're putting the software on, right? But yeah, no, that's cool. I've never done this like this, so this is actually really intriguing to me because I'm just watching how, because again, I could see, as I was, as Frank was doing, I could see a lot of things just from what you've done here. Again, we don't have to be in circles, we could be squares, we could be whatever shape, right? Pretty much.
What I like about tiles is that you get clients who say they want something. When they see it, they say, "Oh, can't you do this? Can't you do that?" You put them in front of the screen, you move it around in tiles, and you say, "Tell me when to stop." They say stop, and you say, "That's it. We're fixing it. What's next?"
Right. Right. Next. Yeah. Now, Ed, what you say is, okay, sign off on that. Sign off on that, please. That's what you wanted. Did you not allowed to, Leo? Look at Leo going, yes, you preach, Mike. Yeah, I know. Sign off on that? No, thank you very much. You're not allowed to change your mind between now and the day.
One thing I'd say about tiles, though, because tiles doesn't do all the audio side, it's only for a video production. So it's always to support what you're doing rather than being the primary. And that's where, we're talking. So it's great, but it's almost like it breaks the fundamentals of Zoom of being not the audio and video communication tool. It's just the video presentation, which is ideal.
Right. And again, it's a tool for the TD to use. Again, if you have dedicated projectors and this is what you want to be up there, that's one thing. But if you're mixing it in, so all of a sudden during intermission, as an example, between, let's say you're doing like a conference where you have an intermission, and I know, Robert, you're watching me now, so I'm giving you an example here. So use case. So if you're in intermission, you could actually have tiles as its own input into the ATEM that you could switch to. Instead of it being boring, now you get to watch everybody in Zoom as they're doing whatever they're doing during intermission before you come back to the live within the venue, as an example.
I will say one thing with tiles is that the place it gets scary is when you think that you're putting these people that are online suddenly on a big screen in front of thousands of people. I always use the feed in and have someone watching who's next, and if that person hasn't, with this follow the user or eye tracker, I think, or framer, I can't remember the exact description of it. There's a guy the other day who we were on an event, actually stood up with his phone and walked across to the bathroom. And I mean, it's only because he was in the feed and I could see he was in the queue and he was going to come in next that we managed to mute him before we got onto a big screen. That would have been very embarrassing. Well, I suppose that's another way of having an icebreaker at the beginning of a meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kieran actually has a good question. And again, for the YouTube audience, they're trying to figure out if YouTube's out of sync, we're out of sync, or Tiles is out of sync. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, so there's going to be, I'm going to spotlight all four of us. So this will be Tiles, participant number one, then Robert, then Mike, aka me, and Leo. So now I'm going to spotlight everybody. Okay, so individually, 1, 2, and where am I? Where am I hiding? I'm hiding. Oh, I did that mine already. And Robert now. There's Robert. So now, for Kieran's sake and everybody on YouTube, you will see the difference of where we're live. So you could actually see that, you know, I'm in sync, Leo's in sync, Robert's in sync, but you'll see as Leo's doing his fingers on his video, you'll see how much the actual delay is when it goes all, because again, it's going from our individual where we are individually back to Zoom's cloud for Tiles. Then Robert's calling it from Zoom's cloud back to his machine, doing the Tiles configuration, and then sending it back to the cloud, right? So that's the amount of delay of all that round trip of from me to the cloud to Robert's machine, where Robert has me in there and back again, and then out. You're welcome,
So,
Kieran. Absolutely.
Leo, how much did you count up to? Was it about 3 seconds?
Say that again, Robert. Sorry.
Was that about a 3-second delay that you counted?
I was just counting 1, 2, 3, and then you'll be able to see it. I can't see what you're seeing because I'm on a iPhone. But it's just for people watching, if they're seeing me live and me on Tiles, they'll see the difference.
Okay, so it's less than a second.
Okay.
That's
So
not bad.
yeah, I'm going to show you while I'm here. Just completely back to, so that's how McDonald's in the UK now looks, and now they've got the delivery partners. So that's where all the delivery guys now go. They have their own area in the McDonald's.
So they actually sit in there, Leo, and wait for the next
Or
delivery to be ordered.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they're more. Well, you know, you've got normally out here. You know, there's all the bikes. There'll be loads of them. There'll be loads of their delivery bikes everywhere for Just Eat or Deliveroo or whoever they work for. You know, there's a Deliveroo bike, and there'll be loads of them. So the world has changed. We've got traffic congestion in London now because of delivery drivers. It's the biggest thing that's changed our traffic congestion. Is Amazon in the morning and Deliveroo at night time.
Right. Yeah. So Kieran, there you go. So you've got us live, all pinned. Well, all spotlit. Sorry, let me use that. Not pinned. Right now, spotlit. So I've forced it onto YouTube now that you actually see us as 4 spotlights. That's why you see all 4 of us. And you'll also see that Robert has his meters up too, which he's now allowed that person to come back into the fold to be shown, right? And again, if I spotlight again, which I can, you'll now see that there's a 5th box now. It won't look as great. We're all going to shrink here momentarily. But again, there's the, so you'll see the difference there between the actual audio meters live and the audio meters on Tiles. And I'll keep talking so that you can actually see the meters move. Cool. So as Leo is done his supper for the evening and getting back into his wonderful vehicle and heading back on the road. So were you out today, Leo, on a job? Is that where you're coming back from?
Yeah, so the Sunday is a Remembrance Sunday in the UK, so that's our day when we have our poppies. I don't know if that means anything to any of you.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah, all that sort of stuff. That's Sunday. So I had to go and collect all the staging and everything and get it all ready for Sunday and get all the
Yeah,
equipment.
our Remembrance Day and our poppies and everything. Yeah, ours is the 11th, Leo.
Yeah, so is
Again,
ours, 11th. It's the
Yeah.
11th, but it's Armistice Day is the 11th, but it's the Sunday closest to it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that location that you're doing the event is it's just an early one that they're doing it on a Sunday, or you just setting up early?
Okay, everywhere. Typically, while the actual day is the 11th, most communities or virtually everywhere they do it twice. It's always will be the Sunday closest to the 11th. So that's
Okay.
the day that we have that's the day that all the parades are done and the stuff that we can do.
Right.
So and then people driving around like idiots. It's just at night time. Yeah, but I had to go get all the stuff for that today. That was why I was, and it just went on, and then I went to watch a football game, which you would call soccer.
Yep.
And then I'm on my way home.
Was that Manchester United type stuff or no?
No. My football
No,
team
no,
is Watford.
no.
Watford. So
Oh, thumbs up from Robert. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah. I don't know if you know, I live in Richmond, which is Ted Lasso land. So if you actually watch Ted Lasso, everywhere around where I live is on the is part of the
Oh, and Leo's in a bad cell area, and he'll move momentarily if he's at the light right now. And Leo will be back to us shortly. Right now, he's
you heard
currently
what I said about.
Yeah, there you go, Leo. You're back now. You were in a dead zone. Go ahead. You're back now. Oh, yeah, there you are. You're back.
Oh yeah, I said yeah. And have you got this in the US at the moment? We're turning off our 4G and 3G networks, moving to 5G, and it actually means that we've got lots of dead zones.
Again, Leo, just to let you know, I'm Canada, so I can answer that in the regards of 3G, 4G. They are trying to get you off of 3G. If not, they're going to charge you more. That's where we're at right now.
Well,
the big boys.
Yeah, they're just turning it all off to move to 5G. I assume is 6G. Is there going to be a 6G? There must be a 6G. There always has got to be something new.
Right. So when it comes, it depends on the frequencies would be my answer, because again, the 5G technology is using a certain band of frequencies, and that so that the 3G, 4G, and the 5G do not overlap each other. They can't all use the same frequency bands. So the world would be the official answer, would have to come up with the 6G band to be figured out. And then of course, now again, there might be a bit of confusion with this too, because good old Wi-Fi 6 now comes into play. Right. So that now marketing wise, 6G, Wi-Fi 6, they'll go, well, does that mean that's Wi-Fi? No, it's not Wi-Fi. It's 6G is not Wi-Fi. Right. So again, I don't know right now. There's still a lot of adoption going on with 5G in Canada. It's pretty much done. But when it comes to them wanting to shut down the 3G, I do know some people that were told that if you don't move off, your bill is going to go up, basically, at this particular point, because now you are on the legacy system. So now you have to absorb more of the cost because there's not that many people on there. So they're pushing off the cost to the customers. Go figure.
Yeah, the problem has been a lot of the alarm systems and everything were on 3G in the UK.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's
yeah, there was a big in our systems here in Canada, there was a big again, as long as the SIM card could be changed and that the unit itself could accept a different if it had the capabilities of 4G or 5G in it, because that in itself is different chips in itself too. So as long as the equipment had the capability and the SIM card could be changed, there was a bit of I know of one of the largest security companies in Canada did do a SIM card swap, but the capability of they basically moved them from 3G to 4G. They didn't actually move them to 5G. It just so happened that the units actually had 4G capabilities. They just weren't using them.
Yeah. Sorry, that's absolutely nothing to do with Zoom.
Well, actually, to a point it did, because Tony was actually talking about doing hotspots at a church, because right now he's not sure of a church that he's going to be working at within the next few weeks, if it actually even has any physical internet at the church. So we were actually talking about hotspots. So, and Leo's playing something out at the back there. There we go.
Yeah. I have. Let me see if I can get it open. I have a GLI net router. It's
travel router. Yeah.
Well,
or did you go after bigger ones?
It's a bit bigger than a travel router. I'm just trying to see if I can get it out. Okay, here you go. There you go. So it's this one with there are all the aerials on it.
Yeah.
So it has what does it have? 2, 4, 6 aerials, two SIM cards in it, and a battery. So it will simultaneously connect to everything, because it'll tether to a phone. It will connect to another wireless network. It has a 2.5 gig Ethernet connection and two SIM cards. So it can have 5 connections to the internet at once.
Right. And what I love about it, and this is just me, is knowing networking gear quite a bit, is GLI Net uses OpenWRT. So
it does.
The actual router software that's in it will always be, for the most part, secure, meaning that as long as you keep with the updates through GSLI Net and the OpenWRT open source router software, that hardware will never necessarily become obsolete. The technology might become obsolete before the actual router insecure, could be hacked software will become obsolete.
So what I've done with it, Mike, is I've got the SIM cards I've got into it. They have you get a SIM card which actually makes it an eSIM. So it then has eight eSIM slots. So I don't buy SIM cards anymore. I just load up the eSIMs in and then go into the software. It supports it in the software, not in the client, but on the web interface, and you can just choose the SIM that you want, and you're in.
Yeah, because all of them show up, because they're no matter if they're being used or not, they're all there.
Yeah, and then you just flip to another SIM, and that's it, and you're in. And it saves having to the panic which I've had in the past of trying to change between 2 nano or micro SIMs, whatever the size is called. Trying to eject one and stick another one in when you're panicking because the internet's down is hard work.
Yeah, and just for everybody on YouTube's sake too, that is an important model that Leo picked, and very strategically too, and would be one that I would pick. Reason being is that not only does he have the capabilities of using the antennas that came with it, but he also has the capabilities of using more higher power 4G, 5G related fin fins that he could actually hook up to it as well. And when Leo's
Yeah, it
going
has
to the
these.
back, right?
There you go. There's the
Yeah.
that's the there's 5 of these in the box for
Right.
the Wi-Fi and for the Wi-Fi and the 5G. And it's 5G. Most of them are only 4G. This one is 5G. And this one has a battery in it, and it just lasts 8 hours on the battery. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Leo, is
Especially
this
when
something
you,
that you use in the field, or is it something you use as a backup?
Both, actually. It's a really good question, that, Robert. So we use it at every event that we go to now. We plug it in as soon as we rock up and turn on, that's the thing we turn on. That's our network. So that's our network, both wireless and wired. And then if they say, oh, we've got Wi-Fi, I just go into the software and hook into their Wi-Fi. So that immediately gives me a connection. Plus, I've got the 5G SIM card in there, so that's giving me another connection. If we're still struggling, then I can plug in the USB on it into the bottom of my phone and use my phone's 5G as well. And you just keep going. You just keep going. These options are all there. And I think the router was, I'm gonna take a guess, it was under $300. I can't remember the exact price.
The reason I'm asking is because recently I noticed when we had an internet failure and we had a backup that was LTE based, when the internet went down in the hotel, like everyone switched to LTE, and then you get the base station blocking up.
Yeah, of course. But
and
the
I've
nice
just been,
thing, the nice thing, Robert, because it's got those big aerials, I'm getting further out, and you can actually lock to base. You've got options in the software to lock to base stations. So in theory, because you've got bigger aerials, I'm just saying you could probably lock to a base station that other phones won't be able to reach if you wanted to.
and also the good part of this too, Leo, is I don't know if you've gone down this road too, is that because there's screw terminals and they're not built in, which is very important, you could actually go even bigger fins, Robert. So we're talking like the same one, like the same size, like as your wireless fins, but specially made ones that are 4G, 5G, that if you really get into a dense area, you could actually have this antenna outside on a tripod, pointed directly right at the cell tower, and you will become priority over phones.
There's another feature, obviously, because it's got Ethernet on it as a WAN port. You could, I haven't done this, but I assume I can also connect it up to Starlink as another connection out if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Before we get to Starlink, because that's one of the options that I've been looking at. But if you, since this is battery powered, you can literally take the box and put it outside the building so that you're not restricted by walls and roofs and ceilings and all the other infrastructure in the building, and run an Ethernet cable all the way back to a switch.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Just for we're getting questions on the model, Leo. What model is it? And I'll make sure I put the link in chat. The GL XE?
XE 3002 or something. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it's the
right?
Puli AX. Does that sound right? Leo's breaking out, so just give everybody.
It's the
give Leo a
Puli
second.
AX, I think.
Yeah, Puli AX. Yeah, okay, I've got that. Yep. Yeah, that's the XE 3000. Yeah, my buddy Giles. Giles is definitely watching this right now. And Giles used to be on the show that I used to talk about. So I'm sure, Giles, you're loving the fact that Leo's doing this live on his phone, by the way. So it'll bring back memories, I'm pretty sure. But yes, we used to do this live.
Funny enough, I should actually turn this on, because I probably will get a better signal off it than my phone was getting on 5G at the moment.
Yeah, full stop. Yeah. So again, just to give a brief history of what Giles and I used to do on his show, his live YouTube show many years ago, is that we used to have people that used to actually go to a park and actually set up his 4G. I guess that back then would have been 3G unit, and he plugged it into his vMix Go box, and he had a big fin as well that he would hook up to his unit and point it right at the cell tower, and he had beautiful bandwidth. I mean, nobody was disturbing him whatsoever because of the fact that he had such high gain antenna. It just cut right through all the noise, and he had as long as you could see it, line of sight, peered right through. It's all about the antenna.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And
Yeah.
again, he was based in the UK. So there you go. And so is Giles, by the way. They're both based in the UK.
So
Along with
Leo, are you
John.
connecting your antennas and you've got a magnet underneath? You'll open your window and stick it up like on your roof.
So I've connected only 4 of the aerials in, Robert. So there's 4 of them in. I don't need the diverse ones, and it should any second now. It should wake up and connect on. I've turned it on, powered it on, but it takes 30 seconds for it to, or longer for it to work.
Yeah.
So we'll
Again,
see
the
see if
Open
I get,
WRT is booting right now, Robert. So
yeah, we'll see if I get a signal through it while I'm
yeah.
driving.
So Robert, if you wanted to experiment with minus the gear, if you take a look at OpenWRT's website, and there again a GitHub scenario, you could actually install OpenWRT in a virtual machine if you wanted to play with the actual interface.
And I think my battery's flat on it.
And it just died.
Yeah, no, somebody used
It's
it.
had
And
a busy
they forgot
day.
to
It's had a
plug it in
busy
at the
day,
end.
Leo. That's okay.
It's the interesting thing with it, I'm really interested in GLI, how they've done some of this stuff. So basically, it's the same operating system on all of their products.
Yep.
So once you get into it, you can't start using it. Now, I've only used their routers. I haven't tried I know they've got a set of KVM products as well. I haven't tried those at all, so I don't know. But with the routers, you're able to bring them together. So we've got the baby versions of these we put them in our XR18s, our sound, our Behringer sound equipment,
Yeah.
rather than an internal router which is just
junk.
rubbish.
Yeah. Right.
Junk. So we put those in. The only thing that's a bit annoying, and hopefully somebody's going to fix it, is the ones that we use. I can't remember what they're called. The little ones.
The actual
got a
trial,
switch on the side.
the barrels, the BERYL
Barrels, that's it, barrels.
barrels.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a little switch on the side which you can customize what you use it for.
Right.
But the setting that I want to use for, but you can't seem to set it, is I want to be able to switch between the 2 modes, either as a router mode or repeater mode, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, Leo, my suggestion would be to make sure that you're on the latest version of the router software. And if you can't get it through their interface, and if you can't get it to work in their interface, then go to Lucy. Are you familiar with Lucy in their routers?
Yeah, I saw there's Lucy, but I haven't looked at that yet.
Okay, yeah, Lucy is true. Yeah, so basically, to explain to everybody on YouTube, what GLINet did was they made a nicer looking version of Lucy, but they did not bring all the 100% of the capabilities of OpenWRT to their interface. So they allow you with the option to go to the original Lucy interface of OpenWRT. Is it more technical, less pretty? Yes. So you do sort of need to know more what you're doing because it's more of an advanced configuration. But again, you should be able to go in there and program it more, Leo.
So I want to be able to flip, because what happens is if we've got a standalone gig, we want it to be in router mode, so that it just literally, it gives out DHCP, it does whatever, and it hey presto, all perfect. But when we're in a bigger environment, we want it to be in repeater mode, so
Right.
that it doesn't give out DHCP addresses. It just acts as a wireless. The other thing I haven't noticed in there, and maybe you know, Mike, and sorry we've gone
Yeah.
really off track here.
No, it's okay. No,
I
this
haven't
is
seen
good.
they've
Everybody's
got
loving this. Go for it.
I haven't seen they've got meshing in there. Have they got meshing?
Do they have meshing? Now, again, meshing is a nasty word a bit. I'd rather
Yeah,
you
I
say
know.
to me, do they have, I'd rather you say access points versus meshing, because
Yeah.
meshing is sort of, it can be taken a few different ways. But access, so it should have access point mode, and that might be what it's called, is to turn it into access point mode versus router mode. That's more of a network. I think Leo got into it, a spot. So give me a sec here so I don't. So Leo hears me here. Leo, you're back. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I
So
missed all of that. You said meshing instead. You prefer access points rather than meshing.
right. Yeah. So chances are you might be hearing, I don't know GL9 network interface as much as I know more Lucy. I know
Yeah.
that there is access point mode in Lucy where you
Okay.
could change it into access point mode. And that's
that's
basically
it.
what you're doing, which is you just want to hook up to, you're going to just use the Wi-Fi from the venue, and you just wanted
Yeah.
to
Well,
get
it's not
internet
that
access of some sort.
well, more that we would, when we, it depends on the venue where we are. We end up with a bigger network, than we may need more than one access point on our network, because with what the people who are working front of house or away from the areas where we're backstage, etc., and that we just
Right.
deploy the things.
So Leo, just to let you know, GLI Net actually has the capability of being an access point and a
Yeah.
router at the same time. Right. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is that you could, so it's very similar to how it's got the redundancy built in, right? So it knows to go from Ethernet to Wi-Fi to 4G, 5G, right?
Yeah.
So the rollover capabilities where you could actually have all three up if you wanted to and have it choose, or through a heartbeat, or multiple different ways. Looks good value from Giles. Yes, it is. Yeah, he's saying around 300 pounds plus VAT is what he was saying.
Yeah. It's great. It's good. It's just coming. I mean, I've used lots and lots of different ones over the time, and this has just seemed to have hit the right price point and the right technical delivery. So it's pretty good.
I have heard a lot of positive things about GLINet, and a lot of the influencers that I follow on YouTube, GLINet seem to be attacking them to, try our router. Right now, the latest one that they've been having the influencers look at was a brand new one called Slate. It's a Slate.
We looked at that. Yeah, we looked at that. We looked at lots of the different ones, but this was this one, whatever this one's called, it's bigger, but it seems to do the bits that we want. So
Right.
But I don't know. So I mean, I don't know if for Tony or somebody else. I mean, if you look at, it really is the business to.
Yeah, and again, the portability of it, because you got a battery in there. You can get the non-battery version, but you purposely got the battery version. Oh, and Leo froze on us again. He'll be back momentarily.
Mike, do you remember the model? I'm just Googling it at the moment.
Sorry, I was putting in YouTube. There's this one. Here, I'll give you this one. That's one. And the one I got before that was, so the actual model that he's talking about, Robert, is that what you're asking?
Is it the Pulley AX? Is that what he said?
No, that's the GL. It's Leo lost. We lost Leo. Leo will be back momentarily. It's this. Yeah. So they're even talking about using this for RVs. This unit here, that he had. Let me just make sure I get the right one for you again, Robert. 5G, click. It is so it's this one. It's the Pulley AX.
I thought
And
fully X
there's the link for you.
GLXE 3000.
Yeah, that one. The GL-XE 3000. That's the specific one that he has, and that's the one that has the battery in it, where there is a non-battery model as well.
Okay.
Go ahead, Leo. We lost you. Now you're back again.
But in the world of these things anyway, you know, there's never future proofing. But I wanted one with 5G. So, and this
Right.
is most of their models are only 4G. This is the first of the ones which are coming with 5G. Obviously, there's a completely different way of doing it, which
Oh,
5G
Okay.
USB stick to it.
right. Yeah. So again, if you do have a USB port on a router, correct, you could actually just use a 5G with that has one of those USB dongles. Yeah. Leo's not wrong, but this way with this specific unit, with that unit, again, your fail, if you do use the USB dongle, then the dongle is now it could fail on you, right? Where I've actually had those overheat, actually, when I used to use them way back in the day on the 3G days. I actually had one event that I did outside that was those units actually got really, really hot, and it got to the point of, no, I'm not going to work anymore. Okay, thanks. It wasn't that I lost the router, but I lost internet at that point.
I've got to disappear, but the last thing I'm going to say very quickly, Mike, what I really like, because of the battery and because of the fact we literally can rock in, turn that thing on, and that starts our network. So we start our build.
Right.
So we can actually, and because it's so important to get the right IP addresses and be able to, once you plug in your ATEM and you plug into your sound mixer, you want to know that you're on the right network so that you can start finding them on your iPads or whatever, because that thing literally starts off, and even if we then hook into the infrastructure network, it never changes. It just finds a different route out, so we don't have to sit there and suddenly reconfigure and shut everything down and restart again. So it's great
100%.
in that respect.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you've got, if you got PTZ cameras that are sitting on the network, that you want to make sure that they have the right IPs. Any IP based product that's going to be sitting on the network. In Leo's case, audio mixers, video mixers, cameras. Again,
cameras,
he's already got and in that unit, he's already said, if you're this camera, you're getting this IP all the time, which is DHCP, right?
Yeah.
And of course, if anybody's running Companion, you know that you need that, or you're going into your Companion config every time and changing it.
Exactly. What we also do though, Mike, we realize that all of their devices are 192.168, 192.168, 8 dot whatever. So we changed the IP address of this to something, because would you believe it? I went to one venue, had 8 as their network. So now I'm using.
I believe it.
So I've now got it. The one I've chosen is 98, and I thought, I'll remember 98, and that I don't think I've ever come across 192.168 98 dot something before.
And what people have actually done, Leo, as an example, to make it even more easier for you to remember, 192, 168, 192.0. So you got the first one as your 192, 168, and you're doing 192, and then you can actually then block it out too, which is something that I've done too, is I've actually not do it to a single class IP. So single class C, which is only 255 IPs, and you'll go, but Mike, you can 250 IPs. That's nothing nowadays, gang. So I've actually gone to 255, 255, 252.0, so that I actually have at least 3. I think I have 3 class C blocks.
I'm going. It's 11.
Thanks, Leo.
Nearly.
That was so cool.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Brought back some memories.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Leo.
Bye. John, Leo. Yeah, no, that was so cool. Yeah. As I was saying, Robert, Giles and I, on our old show that we used to have called The World of Live Streaming, Walls, we used to do that too. There would be people that would actually come into us live like Leo did, all of a sudden he would go into a park and all of a sudden he would start playing with his VMix from the park in the back of it. And again, because they would say to, you know, and Giles will love this, that I'm learning this, and John will love this too, from the boot of his car, which is the trunk, right? So that he would actually sit in the trunk. He would get himself in the back of the trunk where he usually has all his gear. And he would leave his gear in the boot of his car and then turn on his VMix. He would have a little baby generator that he would put outside the car. A couple of times, the police would come to visit him going, "What are you doing in here?" So yeah.
That
So
was
it
before they came up with the Tesla car.
That was big time way. That was before you even can plug in, have an actual outlet inside your car that would actually go off of the car battery. Yeah, that long before all that. Yeah,
I mean,
he
as I
actually
was
had a
saying,
little baby generator.
I've had problems with LTE when the internet goes down in hotels because the base stations get overloaded.
Yeah.
And I've ordered a Starlink for testing. I want to see how that's going to behave. A portable unit, but not with the small dish, with the bigger dish.
Yeah,
so we
the
can take
motorized
it up.
one.
No, it's not
Motorized
motorized.
one?
No,
Okay.
it's not
All right.
motorized. But
So you're
it's
not getting
the
the original dishy then. Okay.
I can't remember what it is, but they have two models. One's a small one and one's a big one for the portable ones. The small one being that you can put it in a rucksack and walk around, go up the mountains, pull it out and use it, as opposed to the bigger one, which is also portable, but not a rucksack portable one. So
right. Yeah.
let's
So
see
what
how that
you'll
goes.
notice is that, again, me coming from the satellite world, is that the bigger the dish, the better, because you will have what you'll now run into that is uncalculated by people is what we call in the satellite industry called rain fade. So what rain fade is if you have a really thick cloud between you and the Starlink satellites, which you will always eventually, you will have what we call rain fade, which means that it will drop as the cloud goes by, and then all of a sudden it'll spike up again, back up to full speed again. So that is normal, but it is what it is. That's satellite technology. You would have to literally have the satellites lower than the cloud deck for that to ever not happen again, and that's never going to happen.
Yep.
So when it comes to, so that is always something that you have to consider, is that you may, if it's a really, really dense cloud, you will run into that problem.
Yep. I mean, we're looking at the situation to use that when the internet in the hotel or the conference center has gone down. So
yeah, in the best way that I can explain it to you is with that GLNet router that Leo had, and one of those really big fins that are very portable, that are just a little bit bigger than you would use for your AKG wireless fins. They're both the same size, and all you need to do is put that on a stand outside, run a cable from outside in up to the GL9 net, and now your priority over any cell phone in that room because of the fact that that antenna is so strong.
Well, yes and no, because as soon as you're locked into the base station, you have a place. But the question is, can you get locked in if all of the slots are occupied? And that's the problem that we've been facing.
Because of the fact that the antenna, because of the fact that the antenna is stronger than the other units. The cell phones are only so strong that this antenna is that much more powerful. That, again, you would have to take a look. It's equivalent to what people will use on RVs as they're traveling and having the actual antenna on an RV roof. Those are the same type of ones that you would be looking at. And perfect example too, in the picture on their website, was an RV setup that they actually have an antenna on the actual physical roof of the actual RV.
Yeah,
that's
what we found is that when we used a stronger antenna, we'd lock into a base station that is further away than the one that is near the hotel, that is being completely locked down by all of the cellular users. So
right. Yeah, because again, again, when you get into, and again, it's something that you have to toy with, again, I actually, I don't know if this works in Poland, but I do know that there's an app that works in Canada that actually will tell me where my nearest base station is, all my nearest base stations are from my phone. And I just basically at this particular point start pointing at the different ones that are around me. Right. And of course I go after the closest one first, and then I start going further on if I'm not getting pretty close to what I'm expecting speed wise through the 4G, 5G that I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
But yeah.
I'm going to call it a day, but as you can see, Tiles has been stable. We've messed around it. We've changed the configs, we've changed the resolutions, we've pushed it backwards and forwards. It's solid
Yep.
as a block. It's really,
Yeah.
really
And it lasted all 3.5 hours of today without any issues. So that's easily any 2-hour gig and some without any problems.
Yeah, and I've been playing with it all day, so it's been literally running all day in the background as well, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So I'm really, really pleased.
Very, very cool, Robert. And I know everybody loved it because Kieran, especially in Australia, is watching us for the first time and was able to make it in the time zones. That's awesome. Was appreciative. That's why I purposely did all the spotlighting of all 4 of us so that Jaren can actually see the differences between us being in sync, what we were actually properly supposed to be broadcasting, and what the difference was between that delay and Tiles.
Yeah. What I'm most happy about, to tell you the truth, is the possibility of this little filter over here, so I can actually sync through and switch whatever I want to show on screen and play a video from the Stream Deck, and that's running. And I didn't, of course, play any music because
and Robert, just for my curiosity, are you actually hooking up an ATEM Mini to the screens in the venue, or how are you doing that? Because you could, in theory, because I'm just curious. Or maybe I've just given you an idea that you never thought of before. That could be true too.
No, we're not putting, because so far where we've been working, we've had dedicated monitors or dedicated projectors for Tiles.
Right.
And the thing about having them connected to directly to the computer is that you can define in Tiles that this is number 1 of a series, this is number 2 of a series, this is number 3 of a series. And then when you set up the view, it doesn't repeat any of the attendees on the screens at the same time. So it'll...
Right. So you could actually have multiples. Yeah. So if you have like a side-by-side, 2 projectors on either side of the stage scenario, you could actually have 25 on that one and 25 on that one.
Correct.
If they're not the same ever.
And they're never the same. You don't get the same people coming up. So that's really cool.
Right.
And so now this is a video playing in the background, and I've also got some music going to play in the background coming off here, which you can't hear because it's all faded down.
There we go. There's a nice 4 box, including Robert's meters. Okay. For our friends on YouTube. And I know Giles is going, meters? We never had meters. Something to talk about, Giles. And just to let everybody know what Robert's talking about, I'm showing his the top left where you see the conclusion right now. That is his Tiles machine actually playing full screen a video. Robert, I just said that right? That's Tiles playing a full screen video.
That's Tiles playing full screen video. That's correct.
Right. But it's not that it's the Mac playing the video. It's Tiles playing the video.
And of course, this is the music coming through, and I'm also using the Stream Deck Plus with a knob to regulate the music that is playing out from OBS. And like I said, I can't show it to you directly, but if you look at the button over here, go this way.
There you go. Gotcha.
See it changing color as the volume changes of the like pull the volume up.
Yeah, we're watching your meters. You're peaking. There you go.
And then mute, of course, and replay and move on to the next screen. So it's, I'm really, really pleased with and this is going through OSC with all the feedback coming back onto the buttons. So that's cool.
Absolutely. All right.
And a lot of us, even in the community of Playout B, we've been asking how to get music simultaneous to having slides going out. And,
it would have to be the way that Jonas is running it. Is it would have to be an extra layer. I will use that term loosely. So basically, it would have to kick two players at the same time.
Yeah, but it doesn't exist, so that's not something that can be done.
And again, too, you've got to be careful if you're using it on a Are you still running? You're not running on a Raspberry Pi?
No, I'm on a Mac Mini.
But you're running. Oh, you're running it on a Mac. You're not running it on a Raspberry Pi. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So on a Mac, it'd be a little different. But again, if you're running it on a Raspberry Pi, this is where Jonas has to be careful now too, because running the video as slides takes up X amount of CPU on there. And then of course, now you're going to run audio too, right? So it might be a feature that might be available only in certain operating systems. But again, that's up to Jonas is to figure that part of it out. But would that be cool? It's not that it can't be done. It can be done, but it would be a matter of resources of Playout B utilized because again, audio doesn't use much, but again, you're running the video, you're running the slides. Now you're having an audio bed. It's not one source that's playing. It's now two sources that are playing. And he would have to time it too, especially if you wanted all of a sudden that slide to change only at the end of the song. Right. So then you would have to make those in sync of some sort.
Yeah, and then to make them independent, because you may want to start one without the other, etc. So
right. So there is a slippery slope that all of a sudden Jonas will go, how about no?
So that's why when he said that it's in the pipeline and there's doesn't know when it's going to be delivered, I thought, let me find a workaround. And then the OBS, you know something. OBS Studio is something that everyone has in their toolbox, but no one wants to admit that they use it.
That's right. Very fair. Very fair. And to a point, vMix gets that a bit too, to be honest, too, where they'll go, oh, do you use vMix? No. Wait a minute, that's only a vMix lower third. Oh, is it? And I'm using vMix Replay. Oh, am I? It's an NDI source. Oh, but it might be vMix? Is it a vMix Replay source that's NDI that's all of a sudden going over to something else that's NDI that's taken in it? Yes. And I've also seen vMix in the production world. They'll say, no, I'm not switching in vMix. They're right, because they're switching on the hardware. And the hardware is outputting to a vMix machine as one single input so that it's the graphic machine. So before it actually gets, so it's the graphic / encoder machine that's actually sending out to the internet. So I've seen that very often too, that all of a sudden, if a show's got credits in the beginning and credits at the end, that's vMix doing the credits at the beginning and the credits at the end, but it's sitting there dormant the whole time. And it's only being an encoder through 90% of the actual event, show, whatever it is. I've seen that multiple times. Then all of a sudden at the end of the show in the credits, they'll say vMix operator, blah, blah, blah name. I'm going, I knew it. I knew it. But yet, again, vMix has a bit of a hue on it, like on the actual encoder that it's very distinctive to me. But again, I've used vMix for way too many years too, so that I already know the color space of the vMix. Which brings me to the newly released open source protocol coming soon to compete against our friends at NDI, called OMT, that vMix just put out. So that's going to be very, very interesting. And that is a vMix, that is them doing that and them using their own independent codec that they've actually made, video and audio codec that they made as well. So that is going to be quite interesting. It's if you're already used to using NDI, you know already how to use OMT.
Yeah,
It's
but
got
the difference
everything
between
similar.
NDI and OMT is that NDI is stable. We don't know what OMT
Oh,
is.
well, yeah. And again, there's also another one that I'm working on too. I sort of can't talk about yet, but that's itself a totally different ballgame too. And the broadcast industry is definitely, I'll say it this way. The broadcast industry is not happy with SMPTE 2110 because I hear about it every week. And I also hear about that this one will be also relatable to NDI, meaning that if you're already familiar with the NDI technology, you'll be able to use this new codec that I'm working with a lot of the major broadcaster type companies out there that are coming up with this new protocol. So that one should be coming out soon. And it will be also open source.
Is that the one that Dante is using? Because Dante has come up with a video protocol that they've been pushing.
Yeah, again, Dante's stuff is none of Dante's technology is open source. Not to my knowledge, unless they're doing something that I haven't heard about. But if you're talking about the Dante AV, that is still proprietary. When I looked into it, because we're contemplating adding that to our cameras. Okay. So the AV and AVX are still Dante proprietary, meaning that we went through a whole process to get certified to be able to add that to our product.
Mike, thank you very much. I'm going to leave now. It's coming up to 1 o'clock because we're
you guys done the time change now, and the UK has done their time change now, and they're actually back to the same as us now, and you're always an hour ahead of us, ahead of them. So
see cool. You. Thanks very much. Take care and see you next week.
You got it, Robert.
And I'm going to switch tiles off without breaking it.
There you go. Perfect. And on that note, it's time to wrap it up for this week on the Test Kitchen. It's time for karaoke.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video,
right. As David said before, we don't know what wreck means, but we don't know what half the lyrics mean, but we love them so much. Thanks everyone for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And yes, we're here every week, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and check your local time zones to match that with those. See everyone next week for another great rendition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everyone on YouTube. Have a good week.